As the team entered inside the city, as moving forwards upon where you currently stand, right now, oh, that's right. You technically did level up, but you guys are still doing stuff in town. If you guys want, we can work with that right now, or we can do that next session. It's entirely up to you.
Well,
Wait,
It doesn't
do I-
matter to me.
want to do?
I don't know what leveling up does for us. I don't know what.
Yeah, I say we level up.
I need to
That
level
out of the
up.
way.
I need more spells.
Okay. Well, then we will go with
Need more
leveling up
deception.
for a little bit. So, let's see here. I should be able to stream on screen. Let's see here. OBS, Discord, Firefox.
I did my level up. I'm just gonna make sure that I did it right while we walk through.
Oh my god, Shannon, stop being a fucking kiss ass, please.
Is that why you wanted to level up? You already did.
Because he already did it.
I just did it while I was helping Charlie make a character. 'Cause I had nothing to do, so I was just like, I'll make mine.
Watching the stream.
I think that's the wrong account. Yeah, I think it is.
Oh no.
I'm gonna stop streaming. Going to restream again. But this time the actual thing.
Are we on Roll20 or on Discord?
Currently we are on Discord.
Okay, so I'll go back to Discord. Okay.
Okay, for some reason it won't let me not stream Firefox. Whatever, I'll just go with Firefox. It's fine. Okay. Going back to the GM layer. It's going to take me a quick second.
Do we double click on yours and do watch stream? On your-
On Discord, you can just click watch stream if you'd like. But I'm just going to basically go over how you can level up.
Oh, okay.
So, right now I'm in the chat section. You want to go to the journal section. There's where you'll find your characters.
In Discord.
No,
No, on Roll20.
on Roll20.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
put your character sheet.
Okay. Pulling up character sheet now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You click on it. Then go to character sheet. I'm using Human Man's Dance because he's currently not available. So, to level up, there's a few things you can do. You can manually do it. In order to manually do it, you would have to go into the compendium.
Well, I'd
And-
rather have it auto do it for me.
It's about the same thing, but you go
Okay.
to classes. Once it
Glasses.
shows up, you look for the class you're currently playing, Wizard, Bard, Warlock, or the like. You click on it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Eventually, it'll show what your class can do after a certain amount of levels. There we go. So you just scroll down
Oh,
until you
Open-
find this part where it says level. So first level, second is what we're going with. The new features that you might get, in this case, you might get something there. Proficiency bonus stays the same, so you won't do anything there. Cantrips stay the same, but if your level does get spells, you might get one additional spell. Going from level 1 to level 2 is not that big of a system, but you can work with that. You look up the features that you get in level 2. Druid Circle and Wild Shape. With the program, you can just click on the name, and it'll show you what those mean. You then just copy and paste it if you want to into your character sheet, and that's basically it. Now, if you wanted to go with the auto one,
Yeah.
you click on this one next to spells on your character sheet, the little cog wheel.
Okay. I did that where it says level 1. Go back and just push level 2.
No, this cogwheel right here.
Oh, wait. I gotta go back to you. Hold on. Okay, show me again what cogwheel?
This is your character sheet.
Yes.
Bio, spells, and then right here, this cogwheel.
Okay.
Or bio spells.
Okay. Okay, got that. Got cogwheel by bio spells.
You click on it,
Uh-huh.
then you scroll all the way down.
Okay.
Launch Charactermancer options.
Ooh,
Launch level 1 Charactermancer cannot be undone. You don't click on that one because that's basically going to rewrite your character sheet. You want to click
Okay.
on the one below it.
Okay. Launch level.
Uh-huh.
What?
Whoop. Okay.
All right.
Go.
It just basically tells you welcome to Charactermancer level up.
You're right.
You can click next. It tells you what level are you going to be now. With him, it'll be level 2. So 1 plus 1 would leave level 2. Next to it, if it equals the number that's correct, in this case, you would all be level 2. You leave that alone.
Okay.
If
It
you
is
want,
level 2.
it'll
Okay.
add the average for you if you want just the average. For him, I'm going to do the average. So you just simply click on it. And that's how much additional health you get. If you want to roll for it, I'm just going to give it an example. You can click on it. Sometimes it'll give you more HP, or like how I just rolled now, it'll be lower.
Ooh, poor Dan.
He's going to get 5 average, it's fine. But if you roll for it, you can get more health. But if you roll poorly, it will just be bad.
Okay.
I would recommend, since you're just starting, going with the average.
That's what I did. Okay.
Underneath that is class features. You can click on it to see what exactly it means, but basically it just tells you all the stuff you'll get. But down below it, it'll just give you the choices you have. In his case, he'll get a druid circle, which is basically what line of magic properties he'll get after this point in time. For you guys, it'll be different. It might be the god you worship or the power that you get from changes. You just click on it and see if it's something you want. Next to it, when you click on it, it should have, or it should change this little text box. Sometimes it doesn't do it, so you just gotta pay attention to what's happening. And you just click on what you want. Subclass features, you might get something like that. Like, for example, he gets a bonus cantrip, but you might get something else, something completely different. Multi-class is if you're changing the class and going into another one. Since you're just starting, I would recommend not doing that until maybe later on, until you get a feel for how the game works.
Okay.
If there's anything else that you show up that shows up in your screen, you can once again pick and choose. The little text box next to it basically tells you what you'll get or what you can get at different levels. If you want to know specifics on the stuff you pick, in there, you'll just have to scroll down, read a little bit, and see what you'll get. Like, for him, he'll get Wild Shape, and that basically means that he can, twice a day, turn into a creature.
God.
Oh, wow.
I can't imagine what he's gonna turn into.
Who knows? But in his
Man.
case, as well, he gets to choose his druid circle. In this case, it will be different on what you choose, and you'll have a variety of to choose from. There's druids of the gods. It could be the moon, the land, the shepherd. If you want to know what it is, you just click on it. I clicked on Circle of the Land. You can easily click on it, and that's what it'll tell you what you can do. In his case, he'll get a bonus cantrip, and he'll get spell slots on a short rest instead of waiting until he takes a long rest.
Hmm.
Not a lot, but something.
A little. Yeah.
And for the first level up, that's basically it. You click next. Read down what you'll get. You can take your time as much as you need. If you don't want to scroll through the text box, you can just click next, look at the text that is shown, and that'll basically do the same thing. If you don't want it or don't like the stuff you got, you click back and you re-choose. But for him, I'm going to say this is it. Until he comes back, then I'll actually work with him on what he actually wants to be.
Yeah.
Then I'll click next because it all seems fine. Spells. If you get spells, this is where you'll choose the spell you get or spells you get. For him, I feel like Frostbite might be something he's interested in. Again, I'll rework it as soon as he returns. And he also gets another spell due to his own level up. I'll go with Ice Knife. And once you don't have an option to choose anymore, you click next. And this is how the spell sheet looks now. You already added your bonuses, already added your feats. Apply changes. And it auto levels up for you. Now, if you did still need help, let me know. I'm more than willing to help you out.
I'm good. I'm just picking spells. Sorry, it's gonna take me a second.
No problem.
Haven't gained any spells.
Yeah, well, you're not a wizard.
I don't have spells. Should my like strength, dexterity, and everything be the same for my character?
Yes, only until
Okay.
you. There are two specific ways you can change that. One is if you get items in game that changes that value. And when you level up, there are certain level ups that you can change your stat bonus. So at level 4, you'll get either a stat bonus or feat. Feats give you like new tricks or skills you can use, but stat bonus increases the number. It gives you 2 additional points you can put in to somewhere. So if your strength's 16, you can put those 2 points into strength, which makes it an 18, which makes your smaller number bigger. You can also split it apart, so if you want to go with strength and dexterity, you can put 1 point in dex and 1 point in strength. People really like to use the feats, though. I would recommend maybe thinking it over, but if you want to keep things simple, don't want to go with too much, I would go with a stat bonus when it's available to you.
Hmm.
But that won't be for a little bit.
Yeah, just remember stats can mean nothing because you can have a +4 on things and still get a 5 on your rolls multiple
That's
times
just
in a
you.
row.
That's just you. All you.
Stats do mean something. I'm not just trying to be argumentative. Stats can be very useful as long as you train underneath them. There are a few things you can do with stats that you can't do just yet, but you first can be proficient in it. What that means is the stat bonus changes. You'll not only use the small number that it uses for it, but you also use the proficiency number. Currently, that's 2. So let's say your dexterity is 4 and you're using an acrobatics check. So that's 4 plus 2, that's 6. Even if you roll a 5, that's an 11. It's still pretty good. However, beyond that point, it's called expertise. And then you add proficiency again. So that plus 4 plus 2 then becomes a additional +2. So that's 8. If you roll a 5, that then becomes a 13. As long as you train in something, become skilled in it, the bonus does add up and it does help out. Now, you won't be trained in everything, as unfortunately not everyone is perfect, but you can be as perfect as you want in the skill you choose. But that'll happen later. Sometimes it's just very, very bad luck.
At least I got a decent roll for my health. I got
my-
7 along with the JC.
Oh, did you roll?
Yeah.
Into mine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to be a wizard that has 1 health per level up. So I'm just gonna...
Gamble.
Nah. Especially because I'm a melee wizard.
Wait,
True.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What happened to my character sheet?
Did you click the top one and not the bottom one, and now your character sheet's back to its
No,
original state?
I did go back into it to just listen to it after I whatever, and I clicked exit, and now it's back to nothing.
So it's blank?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see.
Bad. Uh-oh. I didn't click that one that we said not to click.
No,
There it
it's
is.
there. You were
Okay.
just on the wrong section.
It just like reappeared. I had it up.
Sometimes it's
Maybe
finicky.
it just didn't load.
Yeah, sometimes it takes Roll20
Okay.
to process it. Again, Roll20 is a good system, but sometimes it likes to fight with you.
There's the pictures.
Question for you: how can I tell, like, how much I can carry before I'm over encumbered?
It depends on the amount of strength you have, and, well, basically, it's amounts to your strength. We won't worry about that unless it becomes comically overbearing.
Gotcha. So don't pick up 500-pound boulders and carry them on my back.
And not
Yes.
not unless you want to break it.
This is a small gift.
Again, I'm not going to go super rules heavy. We are going to stick to a baseline rule set, but I'm not going to say, oh, by the way, how much are you currently carrying? Oh, that's a little bit too much. You're going to have to drop a few things. I will tell you at a certain point, oh, it seems like you're carrying a lot. You might want to be careful because right now you're getting a little slower.
Gotcha.
I will state, though, that we, at this point, will be using the... If you move away from an enemy and don't do it... if you move away from an enemy and aren't careful about it, you will be attacked.
Jeez.
That being said,
Don't
if
do
they
that.
move away from you without being careful, they can be attacked.
Some would say you have an opportunity to attack.
Oh, shut up.
Charlie, she was mine first. She hates me now because I got her
Legally,
kind of arrested.
according to the law, she is now my daughter.
Oh, so Lauren, so you know, the reason, one of the things I failed last time, and one of the reasons why Ray is depressed, is Iris ran off without getting any like this realm money, right?
Ran
Yeah,
off. She
yeah.
walked away.
I ran after her. And I was like, wait, and then when I turned the corner, she was already gone.
Have
Well,
you?
she's-
She's
she's very-
She was,
Fast.
yeah.
yeah, she's crazy. Anyways, so I was like, crap. Well, how am I gonna get her back, right? And so I may have been like, hey, I was going to tell the guards that, hey, there's a child that forgot her wallet and she may be lost. Could you give it to her? But all they heard, because I suck at persuasion, is lost child. And so they hunted her down and took her to the police station. And then I was
Lost
like,
child.
it's okay, I can lie my way out of it. And so I was like, man, I don't know who did that. And then I was like, hell yeah, I rolled an 18. And it turns out I rolled persuasion and not deception. And then I re-rolled and I got a nat 1. So now she
Have you went?
she ran off with the dwarf. Ray's going back to the church.
So
Yeah, go
she,
find Jesus.
Rolgrok, she's not your daughter. She's currently under your care until the actual paperwork can be cleared. I suppose she's your if you get
I
the
know. I was messing with them.
No, I get that. It's just the best reference I can go with. No, it's not Dilf. Is she's
Dwarf,
your
I'd like the father.
Yeah.
That's the
She's your Batman to your oh man, I'm forgetting Butler's name now.
Alfred?
Alfred.
Alfred.
Wait, why is
I almost
she
said
Batman?
Wilson.
She's
Batman.
she's technically your ward until the actual paperwork clears up things.
Well, Alfred was, I guess, like military special forces, so I can live with that.
Yes. Special British Forces.
Yeah. Sure.
But besides that, how's it looking?
I'm good.
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 Okay. No one's blinked out. You didn't actually make a new character?
Nope.
What about you? I was about to say, what about you? And then I forgot the name.
Becky?
No, in Discord.
JC.
JC.
Hey, am I not talking?
No,
you are
you're-
now.
Oh, well, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not picking
We're all
up.
good to go.
Yep.
Lauren, what are you?
I was.
I'm a bard. I'm an elf.
Elfie Bard.
Oh.
Elfie bard.
Okay. Oh, you're right. She wasn't here last week. So, changing the tempo. Let's go with and that's the exact same one. As the team moved forwards back into the city after accidentally getting arrested again, sort of. You guys sent out word that in case you guys weren't spotted for up to 2 hours, you were to get recruits to make sure that they came here, made sure everything was safe, and surprise, surprise, it's the people that arrested you beforehand. You took down the enemy team, all dead on the ground, before you, and you basically got chastised for not taking someone in for questioning. Ray eventually told them, after being yelled at, that 3 people managed to survive, no thanks to someone in particular. She didn't name names. He didn't name names. The guy didn't care. He didn't care. I kind of blanked there for a moment, so I'm just rambling. Anyways,
Etc. Etc.
Ray basically said there's 3 guys that are alive. The man named as Isle didn't care what he said, so he just went to go... he sent someone to go retrieve them, grab them, brought them back. His lieutenant, she brought them back. And he just looked towards Ray and basically chastised him for just doing an awful job. In the meantime, everyone else talked with one another. And eventually made it back into town. Becky then realized that Iris is not an actual cat, but maybe, who knows for how long. You all were basically told not to leave town for the next 24 hours as you might need to be called in for questioning and or other concerns. the 3 agents that were retrieved went into the police station, and they're currently being interrogated by an individual known as, let's just say, an enforcer in town that will get the questioning done. In the meantime, Rogrick needed a job and needed to find work and employ, so he went there on his own terms and heard a little in-town gossip about something happening to a gate, but couldn't quite piece it together. In inquiring about a job and his own skill set, the captain had decided to go and see if he was willing to take a job that involved his skill set, but would not tell him what it was until he signed paperwork, basically a non-disclosure agreement, to make sure. He agreed, and the information was given about your team, about the gate that currently happened, and he was basically integrated into the team itself. Also told that tomorrow at noon, your team would be brought towards the king once more to be given a new mission to basically close down the gate. In that time, Rogrick nodded, heard about another potential work from Ironworks that he could take on later on if he decided to do so, and walked out. While he was walking out, but skipping back in time, when you entered inside the town, everyone decided to split. Ray and Becky decided to go shopping. I just said you went towards your own abode because I didn't exactly know what your character would do.
Understandable.
So you basically went back home for a bit. Iris then split off because you guys told her, hey, if you want to explore the city, you might as well do it now. A few moments later, Ray remembered, all right, not from here. She might need to pay for something. So, turning the corner, Ray could no longer see her. So, he kind of panicked, ran over towards her guard, shook him around, basically said, have you seen my daughter? She's currently missing. I worry for her. She needs money. She rolled a natural 1. No, wait, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled a
Yeah.
nat 1 on
Mhm.
both of them. Yep.
So
course.
Iris, she couldn't be found. Ray, however, he decided to make things worse, and the town guards decided to go split off, venturing to inside the city to go look for this lost child. They also have some of Ray's money, so he's currently down a certain amount. I don't know how much
15 gold.
15 gold.
Of course.
But I gave Iris another 15 gold, so I'm down 30 gold.
Yeah, you can also retrieve that gold when you go to the police station if you decide to, Ray. So, you just need to go and do it. In the meantime, you all reconvened back here after Becky and Ray finding out that the former maid shop owner was brought in for questioning and interrogation, and he's currently facing potential trial. There was another member in town that is also happening to them, some butcher or something like that, but you'd never met them, and the one guy that blew up the statue. Apparently the statue is something classified as a focal point that allows mages or the like to focus on it and retransfer themselves to this location. Not a lot of people can do that, and even still, not a lot of people can use this. So, in order to break this, it's a very dangerous thing, and not a lot of people know about it. So they really want to figure out how that happened. But they also want to completely close the door that you kind of left ajar. Rogrick and the team managed to regroup here, and you're also here because it made it easier for me. Becky was harassing a few people, well, mainly Ray, next to the woman named Zen. So Zen asked if she wanted her to go away, and Ray, like he does, well, currently does, basically nodded, so her friend came in, kicked her, hurt her real bad, and then just walked away.
But I see Becky got her health back after leveling up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Should I erase it?
No,
No.
you're fine. You're
Okay.
fine. Besides that, though, the team got the information, has been told, but not by the actual guards in town, that you'll reconvene tomorrow at noon to the king's castle. But since you are aware of it, you can do it on your own time, so long as it's before noon tomorrow. So you have plenty of time to roam around town, maybe get in trouble, maybe burn down a church. Who's to say what Ray will do? His luck isn't exactly the best. So, we'll go with Rock, mainly because I think he was doing something to this one
Yeah.
proprietor.
I feel like I'm gonna go
That's right.
back to the church and like go to my room. It's like, okay, I light the candle and I just sit in the corner. You light the candle, but also light the wall on fire. Now the church is burning. Kathy's dead. Everyone's dead. There you go.
I don't remember what was
Rest in
happening
peace,
with
Kathy.
Litwick.
Remember, you sensed a demon over here, and you saw a
Iris-
demonic
vampire.
presence.
Yeah.
Iris was able to sniff the air and was able to locate you guys, which is why you all reconvened here. Iris herself then smelled demonic presence as well as an angelical one. Not celestial, angelical, and demon. But apparently these two are selling some things. Litwick is currently selling what appears to be herbal remedies as well as strange potion-like devices, but also as well as the porcelain that it comes with. Wen is selling jewelry and very ornate, decorative, small statuaries. Their stuff is quite beautiful, quite pretty, but it looks very expensive, so no one has really actually gone over there.
Okay.
Can I tell what is putting off the strange demonic scent?
Probably the demon candle.
Oh, okay. Is he a demon candle?
Looking upon this person, he has fiery pitch red eyes that extend out from the irises. He does have a fiery core on the top of his head, and his form does seem to represent a candle. If he's not a demon, he's a
It's a
very
candle.
weird humanoid.
I didn't know demon candle was a race.
It's not. It's just how he looks.
Got it. How about the angelic scent? Can I tell?
It's probably the woman instead of the merfolk next to Litwick. You can call him Lit, you can call him Wick, or you can call them both. I'm just gonna call him Litwick because it's easier for me. But it's likely not Trench. It's more than likely Wen, as Hawk seems to be a humanoid human. Zen seems to be, well, you're not exactly sure what she is. She is a proprietor of clothing, but she looks half drow, half elf, which is not a thing. But who knows? Maybe she just really likes to tan. Violet seems to be a halfling, stout in nature, but doesn't seem to have any repertoire or connections with celestial beings. Wen, however, does seem to have silver-locked hair, which is associated with Aasimars, but she does seem to have not golden irises, but almost a golden eye.
Wow, there's so much information here. I don't know what to do with this.
You can just talk to them.
That's so
Or
stressful.
run away.
I'm so antisocial. Nice talk, yeah. All right.
I think Win smells good.
I approach the table and inquire to Sir Litwick what they happen to be selling, and if any of their goods, perchance, would be useful in assessing a damaged interplanar gate.
He looks towards you. Then here's Micah basically stated, I think Wen smells great. Looks behind him and he just, with the most sincere but also daunting eyes, just states, yeah, I'm gonna have to step like 5 feet away from my wife, thank you. And then turns back towards you, Ralgrock. Oh! Well, I sell a lot of things. I sell various potions that I have made, crafted, and forged. I also sell some teas, very good teas, and have temporary effects and the like. I also sell the porcelain itself, depending on what you need and what you value. No, it doesn't have to involve your soul. I don't always barter with souls. I don't know why everyone keeps thinking this way.
So you don't always barter with souls. Does that mean you have something I could trade my soul for?
Potentially, but I wouldn't recommend it. But going on with the door thing, like what kind of door? Your house door, your kitchen door, like the house room to a guest room you went into one night because you were drunk and you didn't want your father to catch you with your one night stand, but you broke it because you were too drunk, and then you got in trouble anyways.
Yeah, something like that, except for instead of going to my living room, it leads to the Fey realm.
Oh, those are magically bound. I do have a potion that might be able to amplify your, momentarily, your magical presence.
Does it have any side effects?
Yes. After ingesting it, your ability with magic amplifies by 2-fold. However, after that, you must take a short rest or it'll be divided by half. It won't be permanent. It'll just be halved until you take a long rest.
And how much would this potion cost me?
Looks towards Micah. Thank you, by the way, for moving from my wife's side. It's super creepy whenever someone hits on her. It's very weird. Then looks towards Rockrock. The potion itself will cost you around, let's keep it simple. I want to be the very best in this shop, like no one ever was. And Hawk is kind of protruding in this circumstance. I'll cut you a deal. 75 gold.
Ooh.
I mean, this potion normally goes for 30, not 30,
We don't have
300 gold.
How attentive is Litwick? Is he really, like, on top of his goods?
As he has mentioned, he wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. So he is keeping an eye on any proprietor, any merchandise, and anyone that needs help and assistance. That's not to say you can't maybe steal his stuff. You just don't know what currently everything is because none of it's labeled.
That is problematic.
I mean, they do have labels for prices, but they have no names.
Alright, second question. Litwick, do you have any potions that would amplify spell damage?
Yes, it'll be temporary, but you can amplify spell damage itself. It'll add an additional 1d4 to any damage pool you do for a short amount of time, roughly around 2 minutes, which usually works in any type of combat state. That, however, is as expensive as the potion I had mentioned before. But I'm gonna round it down for you. Keep it simple, keep it safe. Let's go down to 100 gold.
100 gold. Yeah, sorry, Litwick. I'm a poor dwarf with no money, so I'm gonna go buy some butter.
Butter away.
Good move.
Yeah, I don't have 100 gold, so, well, I do, but...
The potions themselves that he sells are quite good and are quite inexpensive. But you guys are just starting. You generally don't have a lot of money. Maybe if you pull together, you'll have something. But right now, it's a little... It's
I
a little...
could sell my 3,000 gold hat.
Okay, real quick.
But I
before we
won't,
move to
because
somebody
that's
else,
for Kathy.
do any of the merchants right here actually sell butter? Because I do need butter. Maybe the bread person does.
Yeah, the
sell-
bread person, Violet does in fact sell butter. The butter itself is 2 copper, which is a copper is just a copper. 10 copper is 1 silver. 10 silver is 1 gold.
Okay, I'm gonna buy 2 sticks of butter.
All right. She hands you the butter. Yeah, butter.
Bro. All right, all right. I'm good. You can go someone else.
All right. Micah, what are you doing?
I'm taking the opportunity to sniff Iris again.
You sniff her. She's currently talking with Litwick. She smells like a winter's breeze, kind of like mint gum, but a lot more potent. It is strong. If you're not used to the smell, it would be abrasive to you. The smell itself would be it would be pleasant if it wasn't so pungent.
Moving on.
Okay. All right. While you're there, Iris and Litwick are talking with each other, and Litwick simply states to Iris, "So, you're looking to find something for someone, something to change them into something. I'm trying to see if I can't pull a little prank. Oh, I love pranks! What exactly are you trying to look for? Nothing too dangerous. I just want to maybe change their form for a little bit. How strong and how much of a change? Maybe changing the color of their skin for a while. Maybe an orange color or maybe red. Oh, so not that strong, but still prank-wise. Yeah. I do have some tinctures. If you mix it in with any drinks they have, it'll change it after a long rest. And then they'll need to have a long rest or a very nice bath to get rid of the tint change. That seems more than fair. What's the exact price? They're not inexpensive since they really don't do anything except modify your physical form in a non-discreet way. 5 gold. Can I get an orange one, a blue one, and a red one? Oh, most certainly. He then hands her 3 vials, and she hands him 15 gold. Thank you. No problem. Let me know how it goes. I do love a joke. Yeah. Okay. She just walks away.
Was that Ray's gold she just used?
Probably.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
looks towards Ralrock. Ralrock. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Micah, what are you doing to that other shopper? Nothing.
Oh gosh. Teleporting.
Nothing. Just
Teleporting.
looking at what's there.
Okay. What's there is currently run by Violet. She sells simple wares here and there. Those cups next to her are basically for the stuff that she might sell to you, but the stuff down there isn't exactly purchasable. You can purchase it if you want it, but she won't sell it at a great price since she will have to replace them. It might be better to buy them off of Litwick, because he's basically selling the same stuff, but for an actual price range than something that she's using.
Okay.
All right. Becky, what are you doing at Wen's shop?
I'm going to talk to Wen and sell her my chunk of gold that's appraised for 45 gold.
All right. Looking towards you, she simply states, welcome. Here we sell a variety of things. We also purchase some things as well. Is there anything you need from me today?
Yeah, I'd like to sell this chunk of gold for. I already had it appraised at 45 gold.
Do you mind if I see it?
Yes, I hand over the chunk of gold.
She grabs onto it. She doesn't steal it or chuck it away. She holds onto it as one would. Her eyes that are golden in hue still stick golden in hue, but you see almost arcanic symbols being drawn into them. And then you see the chunk of gold, or let's call it metal because it's metal. You know, gold is kind of soft. It does take some, but not a lot of force to move it or meld it, but it does take time. Almost like Play-Doh that has been in the sun and is easily wobbly. She begins to move the metal as if messing with string. She bends it, turns it around, turns it into a nice necklace, smushes it back, turns it into a ball. The ball then becomes what appears to be a small statue of your likeness. She then warps it back into the chunk. You presented it to her, and then she simply states, it does seem to be worth 55 gold. I don't know who you got it appraised from, but I highly doubt there's someone with my same skill set. Although I do need to make some...
They were not.
Although I do need to make some money. I can't.
She's so good at her job.
I can't buy it from you at the 55 value, but I can buy it at the 50 value if that seems redeemable to you.
That seems fair to me, so I'll take that. So I sell it for 50.
She warps it again into a flat structure, and then, like a very impressive metal worker, removes small chunks, 50-sized coins, and then warps it into actual coins and hands them to you.
Thank you. Well, I have important things to do, so I'm off. Becky
course.
goes back to the tavern.
Have a pleasant day. You also saw like magical stuff there too, things that can perhaps amplify your stuff, but a lot of it was expensive and some was cheap, but more than 50 gold.
Okay.
And Micah, what are you doing to the woman that sells clothes?
Nothing.
Cat ears.
Horns! Horns! I'm hungry! I'm hungry and my horns have grown.
You take one of your basically Capri Sun blood pouches and begin to drink it.
Okay.
Nyara, what are you doing?
Which would be a ration, right?
Yeah, it would be a ration.
I'm just going to watch Ray from afar. You know, I like to watch him suffer. So I'm
Very
just
good.
watching him just stare. I'm just staring at him while he looks at the statue because I do not trust him at all.
Oh, Ray has stopped looking at the statue and is depressed about, feeling not good enough and is now crying spicy tears of fire.
All right, I guess I gotta go over and see him and pat him on the back. Yeah, there, little buddy. It's okay. We'll get you a cat girlfriend soon.
Yes.
I don't think that's possible. I think that's the first cat girl I've ever seen. But it's not about getting her as a girlfriend, it's just about constantly messing up.
Yeah, you are pretty shit at your job, not gonna lie. But hey, you know, you gotta start from the bottom and make your way up. It's okay. I believe in you.
But the
Just
thing
stop
is,
fucking up.
I started halfway, and I'm just going back to the bottom.
Well, sometimes you just gotta go to the bottom. You gotta hit your rock bottom before you get better. The best you can do is just learn from your mistakes, and hopefully you'll get better.
Ray senses a creep behind.
Yes. Ray,
You teleported
Ray!
again.
This-
Oh,
Ray, my recommendation is to put on your big girl panties and get over it.
Wow.
Micah, my recommendation is that you stop creeping on little girls.
She's 32.
Mm.
He has to think about it.
Should I or
about
should I
it.
not stop creeping on this 3-foot-tall cat
Yeah.
girl?
She is, let me remind you, she is 32 years old.
Yes,
Not true, but
and you are also a vampire. But it
She's
doesn't
31.
mean you should go up and just start smelling people. It's kind of weird.
Also,
It is difficult when you're hungry.
Iris is 32, by the way, but that's neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
Oh.
Moving back.
Ah, then go suck someone's blood as long as you don't kill him.
I've had a Kit Kat bar.
It's not a thing in this world. I don't know what you mean by Kit Kat. Anyways,
It can be if you wanted to, but it's not name brand. It's like
Cat kit bar?
no, it is.
Kid,
Shows
just
changed
kid,
It is
enough.
spelled differently.
Kid Cat bar.
It's
Anyways.
KITT bar.
That corporation bridges dimensions.
well, Naira, I'm gonna probably be heading to the church. At least there I know someone who could probably cheer me up.
Micah,
But-
you know you aren't able to go into the church due to it being consecrated ground.
But
You can go into the
Yep.
graveyard area, you just can't go inside.
I
Like it's just staring into the fucking window from the graveyard.
well, I know you joined us late here. I'd suggest going over and seeing if there's any wares that you'd like to buy. Or if you had anything left over from the Feywild, those fetch a pretty high price here.
Heads up, it's very expensive.
it is.
My hat can sell for 3,000, but it's going to Kathy.
Oh, why is he going to Kathy?
Because Kathy is
understanding-
best girl. What do you mean?
my,
That's a
under-
lie.
my understanding is that you've been gone for 3 weeks and Kathy has found another.
Ray will look up and down Naira
Yes, she's still best girl.
and then walk away.
All right. You walk away. No one needs to follow him, but does Nara or Micah follow?
Oh, good.
No.
Okay. They just leave.
You don't want to come to the church and get burned by trying to step on the grounds?
No, we don't want to watch it burn right now.
Okay. So Nara, what are you doing?
I am just going to follow Micah around and just kind of observe because one, I don't really trust any of these people, mainly because, you know, when I first met them, they were thrown into the kingdom by guards.
That's fair.
I'm just chaperoning.
After a while, you do see Micah just kind of creeping over a couple of people, maybe looking at the neck, maybe smelling them a little. Some smell foul, others smell pleasant. The one currently next to you is around middle range. You could take a snack, break Micah if you decided to, but only if you decided to. Overall, Nara, you can tell that this isn't a group. This is a collective amount of people that accidentally got in trouble at the exact same point in time.
Typical. Sounds like hooligans to me.
Yeah. I mean, so far, the only person that has been non-hooligan so far are the two newest people to this crazy, crazy team. Yeah. While you're making sure Micah doesn't accidentally kill someone, we move over to the church.
Oh boy. Here comes a sad sob story.
Oh, Kathy, that new man.
I love it.
Moving
I'm so
forward.
sorry. I'm good. I'm here. Cats were needed. I thought they needed to be fed, but they were trying to
Kathy,
get fed
Hulu.
twice. Kathy!
Kathy!
Moving forwards, you do advance towards the church. Corridors, you can tell it's currently closed. That usually doesn't happen unless someone's being... I was about to say interrogated, but they're not being interrogated. This usually happens when someone's being consulted by another member of the church, or someone in town is currently being consulted or counseled. You can wait a little bit, or you can just open the door. You do have access to the area. It's just something they do to be polite.
I, knowing that, would enter from the side and still be very quiet about entering.
All right. You can tell that your escort on the last mission has yet to arrive. They're probably doing their own thing. At least for now. If you
I
could-
will quietly, as possible, open this up to not, disturb them.
Mhm.
I will
I'm joking.
look down and see what's going on.
Currently, these two people are having an argument about, well, it's a marriage argument right now, apparently. He never takes out the trash, and she always has to go out hunting for game. It's commonplace, you've heard it all before. Apparently, he's also studying to be a mage caster, but she clearly has all the magic she needs, because she's a wild magic sorcerer, and she just has the magic. So he's just fed up with her just being able to do things. Kathy's just there, trying to console them, trying to make things simpler. She's not giving the advice, rather that she's just a polite ear, and she's just letting them vent. It'll probably be like 5 minutes before she doesn't kick them out, but politely tells them that their time is up, and we will reconvene once more on your next appointment.
Ray is just leaning against the wall at this point. Just enough in the room that Kathy, I don't interrupt and make a big scene of listening in, but just like Kathy knows I'm back.
You simply lean to the side. Not enough pressure that you'd break the wall, unless you want to roll for it. But
I don't trust my roll.
yeah, you're fine. Kathy hears the noise, understand that someone's behind her. Doesn't turn around because that would be unprofessional, but notices that another presence is inside. Since no one else except for the grandfather and anyone else that has been granted access to rooms would have been able to do what you just did, she believes it's likely you. But
Okay.
after 5 minutes pass, she looks towards them and simply states, all right, it has been the allotted amount of time. I'm sorry we can't still resolve these issues, but talking about it, making sure that everyone understands where they're coming from, does help. I do recommend making sure that you hear what the other person is saying, but overall, I want you to understand this. This is not something you should hold in regard to your own circumstance, because the person next to you is the person you chose to be with. Yeah, things are changing, things are different, but you always have to remember the person next to you is the person you decided to be with. If that changes, just make sure you understand where the other person is coming from. With that, they kind of sigh and kind of walk away.
Hey, wait. I was like, wait, I didn't tell you that. I typed the second thing. You son
I'm
of
sorry.
a bitch.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Here's the thing: if you don't lock your character sheet, people can pretend to be you.
That's fine.
Uh,
Once Ray notices that they have fully left, Ray will walk over and plop the nice cat hat from Quinn.
Shalong.
Before you do that, I want you to go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw. Do you remember how to do that?
Yeah, I know. I just have a -1, so it's gonna go really poorly.
It might go good.
No.
No, it
I
doesn't.
mean,
It's fine. This one is actually not a bad thing to fail.
Yeah.
You plop the hat down next to the little seating area.
Oh no, I would try to put it on her head.
Okay, as you try to put it on her head, she, in a full dime turn, turns towards you. She thought you were further away, so this is a little awkward. But she just lunges towards you, and embraces you into a big hug.
oh, Kathy.
Well,
She isn't crying, but you can tell that she was worried in case you were in any danger. Not just because you're someone she's met, but someone that she truly cares for.
Yeah.
After a few seconds, she does compose herself because she is technically the head of the church right now until the father comes back. I'm glad you're back. As you plop the hat on her head.
I
Oh,
got you this. It's so good to see
uh,
a face that's not any of the people I was traveling with.
oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Not all adventures go well.
She looks at the hat and she's not gonna say this out loud, but you can clearly see that the hat's a little small for her. It looks more like a beret than anything else because cat folk you got it from. They're a little smaller, but it other than actually fitting properly, it looks adorable. It wasn't meant to look adorable because it was supposed to be on a grown woman, but things change.
Ah, perfect for Kathy.
Yeah. She does look at it and goes, it does look expensive. Are you gonna be okay?
Can I get unsnapped to grid?
I thought you were.
I am not anymore.
Well,
Oh, there I am. Ray will just sit on the platform. Just,
I didn't think I'd ever say this, but man, am I glad to be back at the church.
lightning. Maybe
I feel like Kathy would know that Ray is not a religious person after living together.
Yeah, you've been living together. Well, separate areas, but living
Yeah,
together
but,
in
like-
the same abode for some time. She understands where you're coming from. She doesn't say it out loud. She doesn't try to get you in trouble. She understands where you're coming from, and she doesn't pressure you into having her own belief system. She understands that you are your own separate person, and she divides that connection between, oh, this person is not with the same value set that I have. They are their own separate person, and their value set means something to them. Diminishing
I
that
feel-
would be
I
against
feel like
what I do.
yeah. I feel like Ray is kind of like, the groundskeeper of the church. Like, there to heal, but not part of the church.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been at the church? I know that you were left alone for some time.
Thankfully, we didn't have too much trouble. There were a few casualties in the bordering country of Mist, but unfortunately, we weren't. Well, some of us are there. It's just we couldn't help them. She does sigh at that, but she perks back up mainly because it's just kind of a downer topic, and you just got back, and she doesn't want to depress you. Other than that, though, we've been doing well. Miss Timothy did get the baking goods that you provided the last week. Sir Thomas made sure that everything else was clear and the garden section was as clean as you do it. We did have some people covering for you in town that you've helped. Little Jimmy is still stuck in the well, but I don't want to be rude, but he is a doll, and we haven't found someone that fits in the well yet.
You can be frank with me. Is there anything that I can help with now?
She does
Or if
ponder
any-
it, but she does state, no, there's nothing you can do to help us right now. But, if you want, you can help me tend to the gravestones.
Kathy, I know how much you work yourself. Please, you can go ahead and tell me if there's anything that I can help out with.
Ray, roll insight.
It's decent! I was going to try to persuade her to tell me.
That's fine too, but something in the sentence that she just used would involve insight. You can have the persuasion check and it'll be 14. That's not an issue.
Yeah. You use the 14 for the insight, or just...
No, you can have the 14 for your persuasion, but I want to see if Ray's character would understand what Kathy was doing.
14 all day. We in this. We used all our bad luck last time, boys. Kathy's the only girl that matters, so we're good.
Hooray for averages. You know you roll bad when we go with average, or a little bit above average. With the 14, you can tell that she was being honest, but she also was slipping in something else. Yeah, she could tend to the things that need attending to the church, making sure everything's clear, clean, under control. Without you, Ray, that much she didn't lie about, or that much she didn't move away from. But with the 14, you can also tell that she invited you rather than told you that something needs to be done. She wanted your company rather than your assistance.
That's what I was getting at. I was just seeing if there was anything that I could just go along with her for, and she wouldn't be like, "Hey, just go get rest." So
Yeah, that's why she asked if you could attend or help her out with the gravestones.
yeah, Ray would.
But
Okay.
with your persuasion of 14, she does state, there are a few things I need to tend to, and if I have your help, it would work faster.
Absolutely. You'll have my help.
I will grab the water bucket and stuff,
Mhm.
and then come back and be like, well, "Let's go clean some gravestones." The best of dates.
You do make it there around this time. It would be noonish. Only you two, except for anyone else that's in the area. Around 3 other members of the church still are at the city. Oh, also that one random dude that is currently also here, but has yet to show up. Who knows? Maybe he'll ruin your date. Uh, are tending to the grounds. Are also tending to the gravestones, making sure everything is clean and proper. You can tell Kathy is enjoying your company, is enjoying the time that you're spending together. She doesn't have a lot of free time, so even this much is acceptable. But you can also tell that she is keeping track of each and every name when she moves from stone to stone. She cleans the name, makes sure everything's clear there, says the name, gives a little small prayer, and continues her work, and it advances forwards in that manner and tone.
I have a quick question. Would I know where this well is that she spoke of? Like, is it like a town well? You'd know where it is, or
It's
is
an
it like?
old town well. You know where it is. It's currently not being used anymore. Uh, a kid named Chris accidentally dropped his little toy in there, called Timmy. At first, the town thought it was a child lost in the well. Someone cast a light cantrip and dropped a small light into the well. They figured out it was a toy, and almost everyone except for the small child immediately lost interest. Kathy, in the meantime, has been trying to find someone that could fit inside the well because she really wants that kid to smile again.
Oh yeah, no. Ray would 100% be getting Iris after this, and having the cat girl go down the well to get the doll.
Yeah, I agree.
But she does enjoy your time together. You know about the well. You can deal with that as you may. But she does look towards you. You did say you're. I don't want to call it team, but the people you were with were a little overbearing. Do you think you're going to be okay? I did hear rumors that something's going on in the castle.
Yeah, I have to meet with the king tomorrow at noon. And to be honest, I don't know how it's going to go with the group. There is someone new that looks promising and seems competent. But the others, have only put me into more trouble. But I can't blame them for everything. It seems as though I equally am trash.
Thinking back on the 2 times you tried to set Becky's hair on fire.
Basseteers. Ray has some spicy tears as Ray reflects on Ray's own incompetence.
As you basically move in your own sorrow, she moves forwards, places a hand upon your back, and then in her own tone, she does say a small prayer. Maybe not to you, maybe to the world. She knows how you feel about the gods, but this is how she works, and who she is. With a small prayer, you get a strange sensation, an almost calming presence. The emotions you feel are not amplified, but rather felt. Rather than being depressed, you understand the commotion and the intricate works of why you're depressed, rather than feeling the emotion itself. You can understand that this is a solemn way of making sure that you're okay. You're not sure if it's the prayer or her presence, but you do feel better, if slightly.
Thanks, Kathy. I'll definitely keep going and keep trying my best. I mean, at this point, I can only get better, right?
She does nod. As long as you continue to move forward. She didn't mean it like that, but yeah.
I know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. She doesn't know. Maybe Ray gets depressed again. Who knows? But she does state, as long as we keep moving forwards, we can only get better. It's when we fall into our own machinations, it's when we fall.
Also, Kathy, I wanted to say that I do meet with the king tomorrow, noon. But I do not know where he'll send us.
Just be careful, okay? The father will be back in 3 days. Just make sure you're okay.
I mean, you say that, but have been or almost have been arrested in both 2 cities and 2 realms, so I'll do my best.
Go ahead and roll. What would you roll for this? What's your past perception? Do you remember where it is on your sheet?
Perception is 12.
12? Okay. You look at her, you don't know how things are going. The air quotes date is going fine, but you can tell that she's a little worried.
Augur.
It's nice company and she's enjoying it. Whether you call it a date or not, it's entirely up to you. But no one has called that out loud. But she looks towards you and then puts down the bucket, puts down the little, not rag, but thing she uses to clean it. She then goes into her small little satchel bag she carries all the time. She brings out what seems to be a small little piece of paper with a strange symbol on it. The symbol itself represents not a god, not a deity or anything of the sort, but a strange, almost binding to it. It has the possession of greatness, not of one given, but one received and one earned. The symbol itself is very intricate. She then puts it in a small string that seems to be made out of gold, and she then states, this is something that was given to me a while ago. I don't know where you'll go from here, but I know that this symbol will mean more to you than it will to me. She then presents it to you.
What would I put that down in my inventory as?
Charm.
That's a good way.
Thank you, Kathy. I'll carry this with me.
Ray would be feeling better now, and I wouldn't go through all of it, but would be telling Kathy the absurdity that Ray has been through, from the fish merman that thinks it's a human and keeps doing really dumb things, and would just be going through like the Feywild of getting a ticket, even though it just wanted to pet the doggo, and the raccoon that ran away, even though just wanted to pet the raccoon, and all the other things that I just wanted to pet.
You go over the
so Ray
process.
would be going through all the ridiculous things.
With this amount of time and information, she does listen to you. She does enjoy your company, and she doesn't belittle your presence. She doesn't belittle the actions you've taken. She listens to you. She understands the points you make and the points you take. You can probably understand at this point in time. You've seen it before. She's counseled with other people beforehand. That there's a reason people go out and seek her, at least listening ear. She may not give it advice, but she is a great listener.
And then one last thing Ray would do is turn serious.
Kathy, I need to ask you something pretty serious. What do you know of the fire Ganassi that's been staying here?
Oh, I know he was in need. I found him in the woods, I think 4 weeks ago, badly hurt. I made sure one of our, few, health potions was given to him to make sure he was brought into town and taken care of, but he had no moniker or, no indication of where he's from. And I didn't want to leave him in the streets, so I allowed him into one of the rooms.
That's fine. I mainly want to know where he comes from and why he's here. I know that he's working for the king, but I have a sense that he didn't come to the church, or at least appear to have been rescued by you for simple reasons like that.
Oh, when I was gathering herbs in the forest of the shadows, It's where I found him.
I need to check that out. I'm kind of wary of his presence, to be honest.
I mean, he did say he was leaving for a while. I think he'll be back soon, though.
It is one of those situations where I don't think I should approach him directly. But I do want to know his reasoning.
She does, like, fidget with her hands. He does have some things in his room.
I would check him, but again, I would only do so with your permission. I do not want to do something that is seen as disingenuous to the church.
She
At least-
nods.
Because like Ray at this point like is not religious and hates the gods, but is respectful of the grounds.
Makes sense. She nods. No, that's okay. She then brings out from her bag again a small little map. She has where she's been in town, where she might want to go next. It's a small like little. Oh, I've been here. Oh, I've been here. Maybe I should check this place out. She then draws on it where she found him and hands it over to you. Circles it. This is the location I found them. I don't know if it'll help, but it's a start.
Thank you. It definitely might shine some light on it. I know that I'm being paranoid, but there are things that may connect us that I may be justified in my worry.
As you say that, he doesn't kick the door open, but you hear someone from the front entrance just swing the doors open, and with a loud clutter, you do hear someone just open the front entrance door.
Before you go check that out, could you also write down the name of the child and the location of that he lives of the lost doll?
Oh,
I think I may have a way to get that doll, but at the same time, I may drop it off directly to him. Again, I only have till tomorrow evening. I mean, afternoon.
Okay. Honestly, the name of the child was just a made-up child name. Timmy's, the doll's name was the only thing of relevance. I'm just gonna call him Oliver.
Yeah, well, it was more of just like where he's located in town. That if we wouldn't come back to the.
Oh,
if we didn't have time,
Yeah.
couldn't come back to the church, I could just drop it off.
You can drop it off at the church, or you can drop it off at Oliver's place. It's perfectly fine. You would know the location of the well. It's not a map section. It's just something you can do. It's a small little thing. You would know of the location. More than likely, Kathy has from time to time tried to get a rope down there, or maybe try to have someone else lasso it. Hasn't worked yet. But you know of the well's location and of the child.
And then I'm gonna do something a little bit schemy and see if I can pull it off. If doesn't seem well, we can go back to the rest of the group.
Well, anyways, it seems that there's someone back in the church. You should go see to that.
Yeah. She picks up the stuff. Thankfully enough, this was the last section you guys had to clean. If you need anything, just make sure you're okay.
I will.
Here's my question. Tim walked right up here, right?
Yes.
Could Ray see through this window?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Ray's gonna have Kathy go talk to Tim. Where is Tim's room?
Tim's room is... It's a room you could have accidentally walked through. You have access to it, but you don't go through it. It's this room right here.
Wait. Is it like on the top floor, or is it this one right here?
It's quite
The
literally
one-
that one right there. Kathy is
Oh,
quite
okay.
literally going through it right now.
Ray would follow through and wait for Kathy to clear the room, and Ray will start investigating.
All right, you just hear mumblings, polite conversation in the background. Ray, go ahead and roll investigation check.
Good rolls tonight.
Hey,
Hey!
look at you.
We're
You know
doing
how
That's
to
it,
do
guys.
things.
It's the first game.
I like how you're doing well in the church, the one place you don't like.
I know, right?
Uh,
Fuck
investi-
the gods. Also, thank you, gods.
Investigating the area, looking around, you can tell there's some doodads, some baubles. 5 books on the shelves. One of them reads How to Train a Dragon. One of them reads Mordenkainen's books of terrible tricks to do at a party. Another one is So, you became a vampire. How does this work? Another one reads So, you believe you're a vampire. Could you be hallucinating? And the next one reads So, ... How are you? But overall, you don't really find anything like immediately. Oh, this is obviously the bad guy. I must murder him now. You do find a small journal that's lashed with a gold, not a gold chain, but a gold lock. You might be able to pry it open or get someone to lockpick it. If you decide to try to lockpick it yourself, it'll be very hard. You have mitts.
Yeah. So, Ray will swipe the journal and the, I think I'm a vampire, but I may be hallucinating book. And would not stay in this area. Ray is smart enough to take the books and just leave.
All right.
And just leave the area completely.
You leave.
So Kathy thinks that I'm leaving. It's just to
I mean,
limit the ability to like.
yeah, they were having a polite conversation in the background. Apparently, Tim was talking about a group he met with that are just awful. They don't have any teamwork. They don't have any allegiance to one another. One of them even
Sounds
tried to set
similar.
one of their hairs on fire. Kathy, again, you realize that she's a very kind person, maybe a little
He's
too
such
kind.
a good listener.
But overall, she's distracted, and you told her you were leaving. So why would she not believe you?
Ray leaves. Go into town. To give the book to Micah.
Over the
Everyone
course of
else
this
can,
time,
Yeah, I'm gonna run to the restroom. Everyone else can do whatever they would be doing during that.
yeah. Speaking of what are they doing, let's go with the first one I saw. Micah, what are you doing?
Mother.
I'm not doing anything. I have to think a second. I wasn't prepared.
Mother.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe.
You don't have to do anything, but if you want to do something, you can.
Yeah. Since we're here, I'm gonna ask this gentleman what's his story. Just gonna ask what his story is.
My story. Well, my name is Jonathan. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. It's not that important. It's not so grand as to be like a far-off warrior with a high bloodline trait that I can shoot fireballs from my eyes. I'm a simple farmer, elven born, but not elven high born. So obviously, I have been demoted into a farmhand. Overall, I've been well. I've had a wife, I've had 3 children in the past 3 years. Overall, in my lifespan of 800, I have had 42 in total. My current wife is a human, but don't let that fool you. I implore those that love one another to find one that you hold dear. Overall,
Ah,
not that impressive of a life.
no. truly, you have led a very boring life. I'm going to talk to somebody else. I'm going to go to this individual down here and inquire about his interests. Sir, what interests do you have and why are you in the city?
Interests? Well, I suppose my job. I'm a pet groomer myself. I take care of pets, making sure that they're fine, healthy, taken care of, make sure they've had all the...
Oh, this. Yes, I'm listening.
You're not listening, are you, Micah? He goes over. Basically, he works at a grooming shop in town. No need to actually go into detail. It's their lives, but not everyone goes out adventuring. People sometimes just stay in town. Either be a farmhand, be a pet groomer, sell clothes, make items, make fantastical items. But it's not these people. They're just random people that live day to day.
Nero, what's your story? We've been traveling for weeks and you've been very quiet. Hello?
Nara, you're muted if you're talking.
Oh, I didn't even know I was muted. Sorry, what did you say?
What your story is. You've been traveling with us for weeks and you don't talk much.
Well, as you see, I used to be a knight, but I did some wrongdoing that had led me to where I am now. I don't like to discuss it, but I will just leave it at that for now.
Okay. I just wonder if you're trustworthy.
Well, I haven't killed anybody yet.
What type blood do you have?
A positive.
The most sour kind of blood.
Thank you. I will rest for a while.
All right. You go into a dark corner and just shut your eyes.
Okay.
And since your name was already brought up, Nara, what are you doing?
Still a little bit taken back about Micah just, harassing every single villager that they see. But I figured it'd be a good idea to go back to Iris and ask her what she thinks so far of this realm.
It's definitely different. It's not a bad different. It's just they don't understand. How should I say this without being mean to you and your kind? They don't understand things that are different from them.
Oblivious, yes, that's reasonable. But what is one thing that you've liked so far being in this realm?
Not being arrested.
I'm telling your father.
You can if you want to. I'm, again, an adult. I don't know why people keep saying I'm a kid.
9 pats, Iris on the head. Sure you are, kid. It's okay.
She just looks grumpy. She doesn't attack you, but you can clearly tell you're not on her good side anymore.
I have a lore question. Is there catnip in this
Yes.
realm, like this planet?
There are things that could be used as catnip, yeah. It's probably just not called catnip.
Called Natkip.
You know what? We can just call it catnip if you want. It's fine. Ow! Just hit my leg. But yeah.
Oof.
She's just mad at you right now. But she does look towards you and does simply state, is there a reason why you're asking that though?
No, I just do not want you to get in trouble per se,
Too late for that now.
because I know. Yeah, thanks to Ray, of course, as always. But the best you can do is stay low. You know, let everybody else do the damage. That's what I do. Kind of like the cleanup crew.
I'm kind of a healer. I really don't attack much.
I wish you could say that to Ray.
That's my cat girl.
Oh,
Shut up.
oh, that's right. You weren't there for a lot of. Apparently, they just left you in the middle of the gate. I don't know why they would do that, but I've basically been assigned. Well, I basically took the job of trying to help Ray learn magic.
So you're his potential wife?
No,
Question mark?
no, no offense, but he's not my type.
Oh.
Too fiery. You know what I mean?
Too fiery.
Too short.
Me jots it down to make sure that I just keep bugging Ray that Iris doesn't like him like that.
Too metal.
She does say, he's too short. I don't know or have ever seen his face. And I need to actually be able to see someone I like eye to eye. I mean, the shortness I can deal with. It's just... He doesn't take off his armor, and that probably smells underneath. I'm very sensitive to smells.
Hey, Ray takes off the armor, just not around other people, okay? By the way.
Iris
Showers.
doesn't know that.
I don't think any of us knows that.
No, but like you would notice that the armor's not smelling
Okay,
rank.
Stinky, whatever.
Maybe he doesn't have armor pants. Maybe it's just an armor top.
Potentially.
Also, what? She's 3 feet tall. What is her standard? It's like my height is 6 foot. What?
Yeah, you're too short for her, buddy.
Yeah.
In this realm, you're too short. In this realm, you're too short.
Oh, Jeebus Cribbus.
She could also just be lying to Nara, just to mess with her.
It's true.
But yeah, you can clearly tell Iris does not like Ray in that fashion. The details are probably maybe just messing with you, but no, she doesn't. She doesn't like Ray.
Understandable, especially after like she caught me literally getting her arrested and then trying to lie to her face.
Yeah.
But she does look towards you. Also, I mean, I don't know if this means anything to you, but I prefer either or. It doesn't really matter what they are. It just matters as long as they're age appropriate and find me oh so appealing.
Oh. I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, I am gonna say though, you're also too short.
Is Iris? Okay,
themselves.
I was like, is Iris in on that?
No,
Wait a minute, am I getting hit on?
she does say.
Ooh.
Sorry, everyone's laughing, so you probably didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Before you get the wrong idea, you're also too short.
Oh, guess who's not too short?
Micah is the only one that's not too short. No.
No, Becky would not be too short. Becky's. How tall are you, by the way?
No, maybe I'm not that tall.
Be in your
Did I
bio.
make
You're
a height?
actually average.
Be in your
Oh,
bio.
I never gave myself a height.
You can give yourself a height now, or play it by ear and see how you feel.
Yeah, I'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
I think Becky would be like what, 6?
10.
You're 6'8".
No, not that tall.
7 feet
What do you
tall
mean? That'd be average.
with a 13-foot
I think it'd be
sword.
like 6'2",
Yeah, that's kind of the
6'3".
same range I thought you were going to be too. But again, play it by ears. Feel how you feel. But as Iris basically turns down Iris and Nara at the exact same time, with the exact same reason, Rogrok, what are you doing?
He's a tall
well.
Get
dwarf.
away from my daughter.
Ralgruk has been observing the conversation the entire time, is becoming more and more annoyed that the elf would come speak with his ward without acknowledging his presence, and he boisterously says, "Aye, plus it's a well-known fact that women prefer men with a thick beard."
She just.
Oh my god, Shannon, is that you?
Logrok, she looks towards you. That's not necessarily untrue, but a lot of people in the Feywild don't have beards. I mean, I'll have to look around, really.
Well, lassie, we're not in the Feywilds anymore.
That's true. By the way, you seem to be tall for your height and build. I thought you were human, but you don't seem human.
Aye, tis a sensitive subject amongst us gigantor dwarves of the mountain realms.
Oh? Are they nearby? Nara, you see her like tail swing back and forth. You can probably guess she.
My ward.
You can probably
Yes.
tell she likes height, but it doesn't have to be like height. It just has to be unique to the race or person. If it's an elf, a tall elf. If it's a dwarf, maybe a tall dwarf. Not Rogrock, clearly, by the way she phrased
He's the
that.
tallest dwarf.
Still. Dwarf. I like to fuck.
Jeez.
She's 32.
She's of age.
Hey, I'm 52, which is basically like a teenager for a dwarf. So
No, she doesn't want to be near you. You basically keep calling her a child. If that ship hadn't sailed before, it has already sailed now.
I very specifically told her that I knew she wasn't a child.
Yeah, but you keep calling
She
her
sees
your
you as
ward.
father figure.
Yeah.
That's because she kind of is, but
Kind
also yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sure, it's a few weeks away. I don't know. I didn't think up my backstory that far.
That's fine. The tail goes down, and she simply states, "Oh, well, that's too bad." Besides that, though, what do you think Becky's doing in the corner as we move over to Becky?
Yeah.
Oh, I was walking away to the tavern, so I'm not even in this location. I guess.
Oh, that's right, right,
you're,
right.
you're going gambling.
Yeah, how this is like the
Gamble.
longest ever. What time is it?
Gamble.
Like in game or right now?
Yes.
Oh,
In-game.
wait.
Yeah.
Would Ray
Wouldn't
pass
something-
by the tavern
We
Like
need
if you
to-
went
on the way back?
a roundabout way,
Because oh, okay, never
you
mind.
could potentially go into the tavern, but it'd be going in a roundabout way.
Like if Ray might go to the tavern for, because it has a backroom gambling, and people there would most likely be good with lockpicking.
Yeah.
Because,
Becky would-
back alley people might be better at lockpicking than
Becky.
straight-laced folks.
Becky would be
I'm
good.
at
Yeah,
lockpicking.
but, Ray hates Becky, so I don't think that's going to go over well.
So, back to the place where you first harassed people. Becky, you return back to the gambling area. Nor looks towards you. Oh, you're back. Great.
Yeah, Nor, good to see you too. As I just walk directly, I'm very, very excited to go back here. So,
All right.
and I just sit down at this table, and I throw my 50 coins on the table, and I'm ready to gamble.
The few people there are currently playing cards. They deal you a hand and then simply state, "All right, then, kid. This is how it works. Right now, we are gambling, making sure everything's all right. Wild house, full house, making sure the jokers are wild. They can be anything you want them to be. Overall, you must roll a d20 and get the highest number between all three of us. Is that understandable to you?"
Makes sense to me. Anyone here willing to bet 50 gold on one roll?
Oh, you seem to be someone of a high card. Wow, child. Wow, it does seem to be something we are definitely most interested in. Me, myself, I will bid down 50 gold. If you want to go even higher than that, I am more than willing to. The
See
other
how this
person
goes.
at the table goes, yeah, I'm gonna fold here. You two have fun.
Can I intimidate this person?
Into gambling with you?
Yeah.
Roll intimidation.
Oh no, my character sheet's blank again.
Haha! You know nothing, young Padawan.
Right? Wait, okay, there it is. Damn it. Never mind. All right.
You have taken my luck. Yes.
With a almost creepy smile, you just look at him and go, please. It's jarring, it's jaunting, but it's not intimidating, it's just creepy. Even more no.
Well, okay, so before I go, Becky just stands up on her chair and tries to like rally everyone here into watching this bet because she's trying to get more people in for the second round if it goes good.
So you just basically perform your way into trying to draw more and more people. In case it goes well, you'll have more people to bet and more potential people to lose their money. So, here's how this betting system is going to work in this game. There are a few games we actually can play with dice, but to keep it simple, go ahead and roll 1d20, and
Oh boy.
whoever has the higher number wins. Would you like me to go first? Oh, never mind. Oh wow! That is some good and
Whoa,
bad.
okay.
Insane. Oh.
So,
Also, please let me know if Ray comes by, because Ray wants to be taking money from Becky.
You bring down your hand. All you have is a pair of twos. That's like one of the worst hands that you can get in the game. But you bluff your way into things. The man that has been speaking not smoothly but quickly looks at his hand and then goes, "Are you sure about this, kid? I don't want to be alarming to you, but I am a card shark. Don't let that fool you, though. You could probably still win, but I'll let you back out now if you want to."
I don't say anything and I just stare right into his eyes. Like, I don't make any expression at all because I've done this before. I look like a professional gambler.
All right. With that, he then pulls down his own hand. All right, kid, take that. It's a pair of 2 clubs. And then you just bring down 3 of the same 3 of the same symbols, indicating that you won just barely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, looks like you're gonna eat, kid. I myself won't be eating for the next 2 weeks, so congratulations. He's clearly trying to, what's the word? It's like they're not trying to intimidate you. They're trying to guilt trip you into feeling bad for winning. They're clearly lying, though.
Right. Well, I don't even buy it.
Yeah.
So I ask him if he wants to go again. And then I also ask everyone else if they'd like to join now that they've seen my luck.
You do hear some of the crowd going in, bringing about, and Ray does hear this outside, so they just step inside to wonder what's going on.
Ray, I think, is arguing with his wife right now.
Well, no, that's not me.
No,
That's
Ray's
Lauren.
Oh.
Ray would be looking for a lockpick first, and would be.
Noah, do you have anyone in the back that's good at lockpicking?
I hear your friend's good at it, or anyone in the back usually likes to be good with a swift hand. Any of them?
My friend.
Now, if you want someone competent in it, I can tell you that the farthest person to the left will be the person that you want to ask, but they will. Okay, or you can walk away.
Well, no, Ray would step back and look through the room to see what Nor meant by friend.
You see Becky just drawing in a crowd.
Ray glares.
Smell Ray and turn around, and I'm like, Ray,
Friend.
good friend, join us. Ray,
But at least this
Get in
might
here.
be an opportunity for me
sit
to
down.
get
Sit
back.
down. Down.
Ray will sit at the table and want to take Becky's money, the only thing she cherishes.
Okay, so the game is, I guess it's just roll.
This
Who has
is
the
a
highest?
game of roll.
The game is roll a dice. Everyone puts in 50 gold, and the winner takes all. So whoever rolls the highest
Ray knows
walks
that
out with a
Ray
good payday.
can only roll one time. Boys, here we go. We'll put in all in 50 gold to try to steal money from Becky.
3 others also present in 3 bags of gold.
Okay. You want to go first, Shannon?
No, I do not.
If you want the NPC.
Ooh.
Oh,
Actually,
it's pretty good.
Oh, that's rough.
no. Okay. Goodbye, all my gold that I have made.
Wow.
Yes, Becky, the payback.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, the money gets brought down, and overall, Becky does have a great hand. However, Ray accidentally, because maybe she cheated accidentally,
Right.
got one of her cards stuck in her armor, and didn't realize that she also had a full house. So when Ray presented hers, when Ray presented his, Becky lost a card, looks around, but everyone's already cheering that Ray won.
Oh shit.
Ray,
Ray, did you cheat? Be honest. Look at me.
I
Look.
did not cheat,
Look at me.
but I am glad that luck is finally on my side. As it
Did you? I don't believe you.
Referring back to the time Ray sensed something changing in luck.
Really? I have my danger
how old is
sense.
that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3 of them entered into the pot, and so did Becky. So
they're on
that's 200 gold total.
Wow.
Damn. Okay. Well.
Ray will not
Congrats,
even
everybody.
acknowledge Becky and just be happy.
Becky didn't
Oh.
lose anything. In fact,
didn't
she
lose
just
anything.
lost this guy's money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true.
So
But
I
Ray
mean,
doesn't know that. Ray came in after that hand.
I enjoyed myself, but I'm gonna leave. I don't want to lose anything, and I'm not that much of a risk taker. So I leave and go over to Nora and get a drink.
Welcome back.
Hey Nora, can I get a drink
You can get
of
many.
water?
He looks upset because you're getting a drink that's free, and he just gets you a cup of water.
I just like sit back and put my feet on the table and sip my water.
You sip your water. In the background, Ray decides to go speak with someone in the back. You just
So
speak-
I only heard Nor say the guy in the far left in the back. So I don't know if it's this person or this person. So I will address the person closest to me first.
Can I help you, sir?
I'm sorry if this is not you, but Nora was talking about someone in this area that was good at lockpicking.
Yes, I'm a blacksmith by trade. If you want, he then hands you a business card. You can come by to my shop, and I'll see what you accidentally might have locked in your safe, business propriety, or if you locked yourself out of your home, or if your wife accidentally locked you out of your home. He nudges you.
Ray will then pull out the journal
And just be like, is this something that you could lockpick on site, or do I still need to come to your shop?
Listen, kid, I can do that, but if it's not yours, it's a major violation of privacy, and I am not about to do that.
Of course, this is my journal. Whose else would it be?
This
It looks completely different from the current style of dress you wear. But go ahead and roll deception. Maybe he'll believe you. Alright, I'm going to make this a roll-off. You might get lucky, and he will roll worse than you. His insight's just a 3, so it's a little bit better than yours, but he can roll bad. Oh, Just barely.
Look at you today.
I know, right? I'm so happy. Roll 20's finally liking me.
I suppose we can do that. I can't guarantee that the binding won't be undamaged, but I can do something here today. You are keeping me outside of my own workplace, though, so let's just call it 75 gold for the measure and means to do so.
And Ray walks away because Ray will just figure it out
Ask
on
Becky.
their own because
As you begin to walk away, Noir states, "Yeah, the man can be quite interjectingly awkward, but I'm sure he did his job. He's also quite cheap at it since he himself is a ruffian, as they tend to be."
That's Ray
walk
for
up
you.
Nor
Noah, do you have a simple lockpicking set that I can buy off you?
I am not a goods store. If you want a lockpicking set, you would go to the building to the right of us.
Ray,
Did the man
just
with
ignores
antlers?
Ray.
Becky.
Ray.
Okay.
All right.
As she begins to leave,
Ignored.
Becky does hear Noir. Did the man with antlers not help you? And Becky just leaves. Not Becky. Ray just leaves.
Oh, God damn it! It was the other guy. God damn it!
You go to
But
the shadowy big bear.
I can't meta game. Nah. And Becky will go. Is it this place over here?
Yeah.
This building.
This is just a general goods store. Both of them would have helped you. One would involve a lot more money, and one of them would involve perhaps a trade.
Ah. Oh well. Ray will just have to learn lockpicking. I guess it might take like a few weeks, but on the next adventure.
Welcome to Dragon's Wear and Terrace.
our
My name
next
is Giovanni. How can I help you today, Mister? I don't know your name. You seem new, but welcome nonetheless.
Ray, I work at the church. I'm looking for a lockpicking set. Things often come into the church locked in when someone passes away.
Of course, of course. He then looks towards his little sheet. Itself, due to the potential risk of actually being a violation of trust, and/or he then goes through the disclaimer. We can't be associated, we can't be affiliated, and we can't be held responsible. Overall, though, the kit itself will be 75 gold.
Just starts.
Man, things are expensive.
Okay.
You're basically asking, hey, can I get tools to break into stuff?
Yeah, but Ray will then go.
I'm here on behalf of the church. You could check with Kathy. I'm pretty sure she would also agree with me. If you would like.
Oh, certainly. He looks behind him and goes, "Hey, Johnny, go and deal with Kathy. Apparently, this man in here is going to unlock things for the church. You sure, boss? That sounds really sketchy. No, it's fine. He said it's cool."
Hold on. Let me write her a note so she knows what I'm referring to.
You said you got sent here by her. Why would she not?
Yes. So
This guy's already gone, by the way.
Oh my God! No, stop! Ray would 100% send a note of like they could read it. They could read the note. I wouldn't bind it or anything.
You can just send it with another person if you want.
Okay.
But
It would be
basically-
an unbound note of just, hey, this is Ray. I was thinking about getting this for myself and for the church. It's up to you if you say yes or no.
Okay. The man reads.
I would leave it up to her.
Oh, you want it for the church, but it'd be kind of for you. That makes sense, kid. He then looks towards the other proprietor in the area. Max, yeah, boss. Please make sure that this letter gets delivered before Johnny gets there. You know how he is. He tends to make stuff up or make things worse. Yeah, sure, no problem. Takes the letter and runs even faster than the person before.
And Ray would get this and then hand it over to the church. I think that's what Ray would do.
Yeah, like No more
Like
than
open
5
it up and then leave it to Kathy in case she needs it.
Yeah, no more than 5 minutes later, they both return. There is a small missive with you. With them, they hand it over, and then both of them say in unison, "Yeah, it seems cool." All right then. So kid, you came from the church, wanted for yourself, but so for the church itself. Let's see, it's 75 gold normally, but we do have a discount for any objectionable things that we can perhaps bind in contract with any other large organizations. I'll give you the sample price. Let's go with 50 gold.
Thank you. That's all the business I had for today.
All right, kid.
Ray would just go right outside and then like lean against the wall and, figure this out.
Go ahead and roll insight.
There's that luck. There's that luck I love.
You've never really dealt with thieves' tools. You've never really dealt with breaking into things. You've dealt with investigating things, but usually when you've already busted down a door, or someone else has busted down a door, and you want to make sure everyone's okay, safe, and making sure nothing pointy is around. This line of work is not your line of work. You might be able to get someone else that has a dexterous character, or maybe a more shady background to them.
Because this is a personal thing for Ray, I think Ray would just, for now, just keep, like whenever Ray has time to like lean or sit down, would pull it out and just keep trying at it.
Sure. If it's personal,
learn over time. It might take longer, but
Yeah.
I think Ray would keep it, to himself.
You can always try. It's just the DC will always be higher until you actually learn how to use the tools.
Yeah, I know. That's my whole thing. Is I know it's probably going to take a week or two, but Ray would just keep trying until finally starts to understand how it works.
Over time, you do spend the rest of the day playing it out. Eventually, some of you go home. Some of you go to the barracks that you were shown towards. I don't know what Rock would do. He can go to the. He can go to. He can get arrested technically, because they do have cells there that open and close without an actual lock. In case you don't have a place to stay or in case you can't afford one. But quite literally, you'll be in jail.
Well, I told Iris that with the money she could stay at an inn or come back to the church where I am. So it's up to Iris if Iris tells Raul Girk of that as well.
Iris would have told you about the church, and some people are allowed to stay there for free, according to what Ray said. But when you say to Iris if she's coming along, she says no.
Makes sense.
Wouldn't I be allowed to stay at the barracks? I'm working for the guard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can go to the barracks, but the current unoccupied spaces are basically the broken cells you can just relax in.
That's alright, I'll just pay for an inn.
An inn's 5 copper if you don't want anything fanciful. If you want something good, a silver piece. They're not overly expensive, but it's a price you have to pay.
Sure, we'll pay 1 silver.
All right. Micah goes into the grave site, hits his coffin, and basically closes it for the day. And then once it hits night, he reawakens, hunts someone down.
Oh my god.
Apparently, sometime early morning, there's a missing persons report. Eventually, the person is found, drained of blood. But that's another story for another time.
Mother! You're not supposed to kill them! You're not supposed to kill them!
They didn't die, they're just very, very weak.
Very close to the death.
Let's see.
I do have healing power. I could heal them.
Yeah, you just basically lightly heal them so that they don't die and then just walk away. It's funny. You always get them when they round dark corners. You don't know why people keep doing that, but it always helps. I think you guys were all on this map. So you all reconvene back at the shop because it's easier. I don't. Oh, there's Becky. Oops. There we go.
Wow, we're back together.
Uh,
Took the whole time.
Overnight, you do spend the night, pleasantly or unpleasantly, depending on what you did. Iris never made it to the church, Ray. You know that for sure. When you asked Kathy, did this individual with these markings come in, and she simply stated no. She did say if you want, I can keep a lookout for them, but overall, you told them not to because they also needed sleep. You did eventually see Tim there. If you spoke with him or not, you can do so like after the meeting.
Yeah, I don't think I ever would talk to Tim.
Yeah,
Just,
I was about to
you
say.
know, be nice and greet Tim, but wouldn't engage in conversation.
Yeah, you
We
might do like
didn't
a
bond.
passing glance saying hi and then leave,
Yeah.
especially since you technically robbed from him.
Yeah,
You
but
didn't want
Ray
to.
Ray wouldn't be like noticeable about that because in Ray's mind it's like, yeah, I needed to do this.
Yeah,
So
it's also
wouldn't feel guilt or anything.
possible someone came in between the time that you guys were away and stole it. So it's not like an easy thing he can. Oh, this person also came in at the exact same time. No, it's like possible he will eventually figure that out, but it'll take time. So for now, you don't like make yourself over viewable. That's a poor choice in words, but I chose it. But eventually, you all regroup in the morning. Iris then states, "Oh, all right then." She cracks her neck. That's the last time I used to sleep in a graveyard. I don't know why, but I kept hearing voices. Is everyone else good to go?
Yeah,
Yes.
I am.
Finally, a good night's sleep. Yeah, I'm definitely good to go now.
Dwarf noises.
Ray will look
Whoa.
better than Ray will look much better, and not so spicy tiered.
That's the first.
No one notices because Ray is wearing armor.
You could literally see fire tears coming out of Ray's helmet.
We just thought they were eyelashes.
Would not be surprised from Becky's poor eyesight.
Nara and likely Rog Grok as well. Probably take a whiff in the air and see if Raid truly does smell. Luckily enough, nothing wafts into their nostrils. So, maybe it's being compressed, or maybe they do shower, but or take off the armor, but not in front of you. It's a weird thing to do, but to each their own. So Iris then states, "All right, Rogrok, you did say that we should be in the King's Court by noon. Do you know if we can go earlier? Rather get this done before, but if you have things to do."
I would just say, let's meander until the meeting and then just go at noon.
Well, I'm ready to get this over with because I have a feeling we're not getting paid.
I'm good.
Looks at Ray.
Yes.
Of
Actually,
course.
you know what?
If we don't get paid, then I wonder what the problem was.
Ray, as the leader of this group, I figured you would have maybe remembered something like
I
closing the
am
gate.
not the leader of this group. A healer has never been the leader of a group.
You're
I am
obviously
here
the
for
leader
support.
of this group.
Rogrok,
All right,
according
we're
to the
going-
I mean,
documents.
technically, Iris is the healer.
We're going to the palace.
All right.
Ray will agree with Grindelbork and just be like, okay.
To get
I
away
agree.
from the situation, you
Excuse me,
agree.
Grumble blender. Grumble bender.
You guys agree and begin to move forwards. Rogrok, you don't tell Ray this, or probably Becky, but Becky is correct. According to the dossier, she has been classified under the leadership role.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's no way in hell we would tell her. There's no way.
No.
Wait, I'm the leader?
No, you don't know that.
So far, according to Isle, you have been the most competent out of
Ooh.
this.
She has? Ray internally just feels conflicted now.
have.
What?
But stolen. I killed, I guess.
Micah, they just don't like you.
Also,
I-
you keep
I'm-
telling people that you're a vampire.
They feel
the
like you
king.
might be unstable, so they not selected you. Nara, it would be a conflict of interest as your family would have high power, so putting you in charge would just be... It would look bad.
Yeah.
On the walk to the castle, right? Ray would hand Micah the book of, I think I'm a
Secrets?
vampire, but I'm hallucinating.
Micah, you hold on to the book, see the binding, and on the binding it reads, "A vampire sees what others desire. A vampire reads what others want. Those that see the darkness within cannot see what truly lies within."
That's deep.
Who deeper,
Yes.
Micah?
The binding is deep, but I think the message of the book is clear. Only a crazy
Micah,
person would think they're a
You
vampire.
also didn't see the title that Ray's talking about. You saw that message I just said.
Okay. Thank you, Ray, for the book. I'll learn how to read, and then I'll read it.
Ray will just shake the head and just be like,
Let's continue.
You move forwards. As not a platoon or a unit or a team, you all, like before, wander around, stare at people. Iris is wondering what you're doing.
I believe I nat 20 rolled intimidation on this king, so he can't be too mean to me.
You got like an 18.
Oh shit, that
he-
wasn't the king.
I think you rolled a natural 20 on the lieutenant. Iris's lieutenant. He won't
That's
be
right.
mean to you, but he's still a figure of authority.
Yeah. Okay.
Ray
He
will
is
bow
king.
to all the soldiers that walk by, and then we'll just sit on the bench over here and be like, "You guys handle this."
Sniff,
Right.
sniff,
Becky goes to handle it.
sniff, sniff,
Yeah. Good luck. Have fun.
sniff, sniff.
Stop sniffing random people. It's inappropriate.
Like one would to present themselves, Becky, you step forwards. All the knights unsheath their swords, twist them in their hand, and basically bind them into the ground, ready and armed, prepared in case you are to do something, but also showing reverence. Maybe you don't know this, but maybe you feel like it's important to show reverence to the leader of the group they're currently conversing with. At least that's how it feels to you. But you clearly think Ray's the leader, so what's it to you? So Lionel then states to you, "First of all, I thank you for coming and arriving here today. Overall, you did manage to do your jobs, did manage to clear things up. With your absence, we were able to clear your name in the explosive incident not too long ago, and we did manage to retrieve a bit of information from the people that you had recovered. If it wasn't
Ray
for the
will
leadership
hear that
skills of
and-
your team, who knows how much information we would have lost."
Ray will heal that and step forward.
Your Highness, if I may, how are the ones that I stabilized and handed over as
Becky
arrested to-
sighs.
Unfortunately,
Hold your
one of
eyes.
them was killed by the interrogator, but two managed to survive.
Becky
Ray-
chuckles.
Ray will look mad, but like not mad at the king, just mad at the circumstances.
Yeah.
I see.
Rock, you're a little worried on how the person died, but who's to say?
Yeah, there's a lot of like rubbing the bridge of my nose and deep sighing happening right now.
Belino then states, "But be that as it may, they weren't exactly kind people. But a life lost is unfortunately a life lost. That being said, I am grateful to you and to all of you. But I did state a word was given and a word will now be received. Like before, although with 2 extra bags, the knights bring out a separate blade and then throw them at your feet. One by one, each blade is thrown and chucked in between your feet, and a small bag jingles from the hilt. Inside each bag, for each of you, you do receive 25 gold, the remaining amount
Yay.
to the fee that's owed. The 2 additional bags is for Rogrok and Iris.
Do we get the sword as well?
Thank you.
Like, if you want to keep the dagger, you can. It's just formality that it's basically a threat. Hey, you get paid, but don't. Just be careful.
Don't screw this up.
Yeah,
I'm still taking the dagger.
yeah, you can take the dagger.
that.
It's a nice dagger. It's ornamental. You can't use it. If you decide to use it, it gets
Yeah.
1 shot, then it breaks.
Yep.
Oh, Minecraft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, so are we getting paid for the stuff they already did or the stuff we're about to do?
The stuff you've already did.
So I'm just getting paid because I'm here?
Yep.
Yeah.
He just thinks you're the fish person.
He's not very good at seeing things, apparently.
Mm,
How much?
you
how
can
much am I
ask
getting
him.
paid?
Everyone gets 25 gold total. You can ask him why he's paying you Rogrok, or you cannot care. He does have his reasons.
All right, I don't care. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank the king.
Now then, unfortunately, your team seems to be the most adept at what's currently happening. And currently,
Ray will start laughing, but quickly bring it under control.
but what I mean about that is your team has the most knowledge, other than Isles and his men. And since they have yet to come back, as his lieutenant needed to recharge their skills, weren't able to send anyone until today. I would like your team to go and be teleported back to the location where you once stood. In doing so, you'll likely potentially face threat again, but we would like you to make sure the door is simply ajar. As beforehand, I do not know if you have the potent skill to fully close it, but if you're able to collapse it to the point where it will be difficult to get through, that should suffice.
Your Highness,
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I mean,
Your Highness, I have a question.
Go on.
As we have only just acquired a mage in our group, do you think that's the best use of our team? Or I was thinking, should not someone address the Frost Kingdom and their involvement in this?
That is why I'm sending your team. If we are to send our own, we would be presenting ourselves as a potential threat to the Frost Kingdom. If what the information we have been given is true, but if it is not true and we send our own men into the field, it would be an act of war and potential breaking of contract. In which
Yes.
case, there'd be more lives lost, which is not something I take lightly.
Yes, of course. I only meant that should we not go to the Frost Kingdom directly and allow you and a more efficient mage handle the gate?
The reason why I'm sending you specifically is that you are a third party. The current mages that are capable are of our own connection. In which
Could you
case,
not, in public, disconnect them?
the gates
I mean-
themselves are highly classified. If I am to trust another, they would need proper motivation to do so. In your case,
Ray, do not-
the motivation was to clear your name. In Nara's case, is different.
That is,
yeah, Ray,
I will
don't
simply,
argue with the king.
I will
I'm
simply
not
not
arguing with the king.
force someone to do a job that they do not want to do. I am not about to strip someone of their own volition.
Of course. I only say this because, again, we only have one mage and we met him not 24 hours prior.
I will be sending someone to assist him.
Of course.
I will not leave you empty-handed. And this is the mission you can take if you decide to. I will not force your hand. Your name has been cleared, but the mission
Your
still
Mad-
stands, and it must be addressed.
Your Majesty.
Yes.
Spell good.
If you were to assign Tim to us again, could you give him more power and make him more
That's not how that
likable?
works.
I'm afraid Tim is his own case. The individual that I'll be sending to you will not be Tim. He does not have the magical
Never mind, that's
abilities.
great. Never mind, that's super. We didn't want Tim. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Before you cut him off, he was going to
Ouch.
say, but if you'd like, I can send him instead of another.
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
He was kind of
Ray, yeah, Ray will. I typed it in chat. Ray will whisper to Iris of.
Iris, again, this is our mission. You may go and do as you wish, but I must follow them to keep them alive. As you can tell, that's a high probability of at least injury with this group.
You do realize I came here to help you do that. If I just left, that'd just be pointless.
I
would-
know that, but I don't wish for you to, enter danger for no reason. If you only came here to train me, and I have to go on this adventure, I do not want to force you into it as well.
She begins to chuckle and almost like belly laugh, and then just calms herself down. Oh, you've never been to the Feywilds in the actual wilderness, have you? You've just been in the... Oh, okay. No, I'll be fine.
Okay. I support your decision. I know that you are much stronger than you appear.
She's an adult.
I know that, but I don't. Okay. Ray knows that Iris is an adult, but Ray also knows that, I asked for her to come and train me. I didn't ask for her to come and adventure with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be like, Iris, you're coming with us into a danger because, good luck.
Iris, you're coming with us into danger.
Becky, you say that to Iris, and she simply states, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was par for the course. Obviously, if I'm training someone to heal people, people are going to get in danger. I'm not stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, Iris could have thought, we were at, a clinic, not in battle.
I can see where you're going from that, but
Yeah.
she saw Becky and her basically blade covered in blood at that point in time. She
Yep.
obviously cleaned it at that point. Micah and half of his face smeared with blood. She maybe believed it was ricocheted off of
Literally
him.
eating people. Yes, go. Literally eating people on the battlefield. Yes.
She saw Nara. She seemed fine. She's cool with Nara. Then she saw you, Ray, try to catch Becky's hair on fire, but didn't say anything because it's not her place to say.
Mhm.
She
I don't know what you're talking about.
completely thought you were going to be in a battlefield regardless of what you were going to do. Because
Okay.
it seems a lot of people are very violent in your team.
Yep. Agreed.
But again, I can see your understanding of things,
Yeah.
but she simply states, no, I'm going.
Then, I'm glad that you will come with us. I know that you have your strength.
Because we're fun.
At the exact same time, Ray, Iris does the same thing. With that, I think everyone agrees to the mission. So Lino then states, very well then. As this is a classified mission, I will state precedents that you are not to repeat it to anyone outside of the mission at hand. If you find someone with already the information provided to them, you may speak so long as you gain information rather than give information. I will send someone to you today. You are a little early. They were supposed to be arriving at noon, but give it a little bit and they will arrive regardless. Now then, this is a dangerous mission and it will involve more peril to your lives than it has been before. Thinking back on this, a couple of you almost died. Becky, you almost died shopping the other day.
That's true.
Uh,
It's the most dangerous place we've been.
So Lino then states, so for that, I must grant you something even more than the 25 and then additional 25 upon completion of said mission. He then looks towards his knights, and then the knights looks towards him. All right, you've already thrown your daggers. You can just present the money normally. We've already gone through the gravitas of things. The knights move forwards, and in each of your hands now stands another bag of gold, this time heavier. As you look inside, each of you now possess 50 additional gold coins.
Wow.
Ray will not accept it, but in a polite way.
Leno.
Ralgrug
May-
will take Ray's 50.
No, the soldier would have it.
Your Highness, may I ask of a different compensation from myself?
It depends on what it is.
I know that the shop right outside town brings in a lot of income, especially for tax season.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god!
And you know this was coming.
I'll be back. I'm going to the bathroom.
Right now, it is in the hands of some very, one incompetent individual, and I do not see that building lasting for much longer. I only came to suggest that Hawk from the market take over that location. His business practice would, be quite fruitful for the city.
He can sell Fruit Loops. Another brand that made it to this world.
Fruitful for the city. I only wish some percentage of ownership in that company. But again, I think it would be very beneficial for the city.
I can understand where you're coming from, but Hawk himself is governed underneath Ironworks contract. He would have to break that himself, but we can discuss things. That being said, ever since the individual that you're speaking of had taken proprietary ownership temporarily, has in fact increased the quantitative amount of gold we receive from that place by roughly twofold. It seems the last owner was, according to the documents that I have, mad creepy. I'm not sure who wrote this.
That may be the case, but I literally saw her sell things at prices at least 10 times higher than what they are
Snitch?
normally.
Go
I am
ahead and lie.
100% sniffing.
What? How is that a lie? I sold mine, and then she turned. It's like, oh, you could have demanded 45 golds, even though it was a fair market value.
Yeah, but you said selling it higher, not buying things at a greater price, and she should.
Yeah, okay. I just misspoke. That
What?
wouldn't be deception. That would just be misspoke.
You're arguing with the king.
That was just literally me misspeaking as like myself, not as it
Okay,
Ray.
let's just say you did
Right,
the right
right,
thing.
right,
Let's
right.
just say you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Ray, go ahead and roll persuasion.
Yeah. Because Ray's gonna have part ownership of a
Oh my
shop.
god.
That's the goal. Passive income.
Based on the value prices and the amount of information you have given me, we will look into things. But if that's what she's doing and the increased amount of gold she is earning for us has doubled, that might be something we will implicate or implement in other companies. Ray, thank you for this. We might, in fact, govern her a new title. So the information you have now provided is quite useful. I do thank you for this kindness.
Ray in disbelief will walk away. No,
King Leno,
Yes.
as you've seen, as the leader of this group, of a group that's underfunded and undereducated, it takes a lot of my time to keep things organized, and I would only see it fit if I'm paid more than the others.
Ralgrug looks over her shoulder, shaking his head no.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage, because Ralgrug shook his head. 8 and an 8. Well, I do appreciate the kindness and not fervitude, the kindness and implementationary measures you have had to take as leading the group as you have decided to do, that does not mean that you are above them, simply that one needed to be in the position. But I understand where you're coming from. If you somehow manage to do this without loss of life on any party, and even still go beyond and above the information that we believe we may receive upon the mission that you will have, I would not be opposed to giving you a little bit more money upon completion.
Thank you, my lord. And just a heads up, in game, Becky still has no clue that she's actually the leader.
Yeah. Micah, I don't know where you went. I think your token just disappeared. I'll just.
Okay.
I see it.
Where is
Okay.
it?
I'm good with that.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Vampire duplicated.
Ray, after yelling into a corner at the in the bottom of the castle, will come back and just lean against the wall, just being like, God damn it.
Now then, you may freely wait, but the mage will be here momentarily. Do you guys
Alright.
wait, or do you just roam around town until you come back?
I don't have anything else I need to do, so
Again, you
I
guys
just
got
wait.
here early.
Oh,
Ooh, I teleported.
ooh. How much time do I have?
Like an hour.
Can I make it to that shop before and then come back?
Which
Oh
shop?
my god.
You know what shop?
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Becky, you're not there.
No.
Ray, you rush forward.
I'm
It
not.
took like 10 minutes to get there.
Oh, the well.
The well.
Is that the well?
Well,
That is the
well.
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 Oh, the well is here?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
would I have
thanks.
known that before coming?
I
Probably.
didn't.
Okay, then I would have asked Iris if she wanted to come. If she could come.
Is there a reason
Help
why?
out.
There's
Timmy.
a quest, as you might put it, that the church received from a small kid who dropped a cherished toy in a well. Most people I know are not small enough to be able to fit in to get it and receive it for the child. If you would like, I would love if you would receive it for the child, and I would return it to the church for him. But
I mean-
it's again up to you.
I guess, but a kid has to grow up sometime. I can make
I know.
sure they don't find it again. Probably burn it.
I don't need that. I just only need to return it.
Sure. She joins you and she does the well thing while you go inside.
I would point to the well.
She has it covered. If you want to help, you can, but honestly, your frame is big.
Flutter, was it?
That's what it says on my name tag.
Don't you hate this establishment?
I hate
New
what
England.
it stands for,
Totalitarian.
but I will tell
Capitalist.
you that I hate more people that don't understand how capitalism works and can't read, apparently. There is a name tag. She points to her name tag right here that I mentioned before.
I thought her name was Flutter.
It is. But you said
But she's
Flutter,
mad.
was it?
Jeff.
But she's mad, just messing with you. She did state beforehand that she had a name tag, which is why I'm bringing it up now.
Here is the roll, right?
I want to change the shop into a charity, a shelter for the homeless. How much would you sell this place for?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Just give me a ballpark number. I can't
Exactly
sell it myself.
225 gold, 17 copper, and 15 silver. Again,
I-
this is for charity, not for...
I mean, cherry's good and all, but I'm not
Is that a
allowed to
lie?
sell it.
Sh- sh-
But I can write it down in a contract and hand it to the king and see what he thinks.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
just
sure.
wanna see
Just
how
write your
that
name on this
turns
blank piece of
into.
paper, and I'll write it down.
Will sign it,
Right.
and then just walk away and shaking the head, just be like, how is this person prophet?
She begins to write on the document, making it into a contract.
And
It'll
thank
take time. It will take more
Ray,
time.
Ray, oh yeah, no, Ray will look.
Thank you, Flutter, for your help.
Yeah, sure.
Just shaking heads.
Uh, as
Money in this
you come out,
economy.
Iris pops her head out of the.
Iris!
just mid grumble of like how stupid people are in this city.
Iris! Were you able to find it?
Yeah, but you're not gonna like it. Can you help me out?
Yes.
You get the rest of her frame out. She pops down. She has something underneath what appears to be her cloak. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The well's probably not used anymore for a reason. Well, I should probably show you. She then removes it from her cloak, and immediately you are like struck by how it looks. It's a nice little doll. It's very fanciful. It looks like a very well-dressed doll, very taken care of. But the amount of time it took you guys to get it, half of the frame is now molded over and cracking. One of the legs is broken down to the point of almost looking like bone. If it wasn't for these things, this thing looks like a very, very creepy zombie with like mushrooms growing off of it. It'll certainly frighten someone if you present it to them.
I have a full blanket. I'll cut off a piece of it and wrap it in it. Do I see anyone around that I recognize as someone from the church?
Potentially. Go ahead and roll an investigation. Nah, let's go with a perception check.
Hey,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
we're doing good tonight, boys.
Get you.
A man begins to walk in the direction of the shop. Before he can actually go in, you know his name, or you don't have to actually call it out. You just can stop him if you want. You do know his name, though. His name is Frank. So before that, you call out to him. Yeah, right. Do you need something?
Do you intend to go to the church anytime soon?
After my shopping, I do need to purchase some more healing potions.
I am currently needing to return to the king himself. I received this doll from the well. It was something a small child requested of the church.
Oh,
It seems as though it's in
yeah.
a eerie state, and I think Kathy would be able to at least help that out before returning it to the child.
Looking at it, you covered most of the body, but the face is like half swamp. I'll make sure she gets it. Do you need anything written down to hand her any information?
I would write down on one, a piece of paper, just like, Kathy, got the doll that you requested. It is in bad shape. I know you can't make it perfect, or maybe not even good, but at least if you can, make it presentable for the child.
All right. You hand him the missive. He puts it in his coat. You know what? I can do my shopping later. I'll get this done immediately. He begins to walk into town. Ray, go ahead and roll a perception check again.
Ah, yes.
As they walk away, too far for you to shout at them and too far for them to hear you, you do see. It is kind of Ray and Friends.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone else wanted to do things, so I had to skip around.
You're good.
I
You're
was
good.
hoping nobody would want to do things and we could go actually do things.
Yeah.
Charlie,
I'm
me too.
sorry, all my things revolve around Kathy and wooing her. I apologize.
These things happen. Anyways, the man at the church, too far away for you to shout out, but close enough that you can see. The doll is kind of presented on his shoulder as if he's carrying a small child, but you do see the doll turn towards you. You're not sure if it's looking at you, but It was definitely a creepy thing to happen.
That should be fine.
You're
We
not-
should return to the church. I mean, to the king. That's fine.
You
That's
can't-
fine.
It's too far away that you can't tell if it was him adjusting it or if the doll was just quite literally
Oh,
looking
Ray would
towards you.
assume the worst and be like, "That doll creepy."
I'm pretty sure that if it is possessed, the hallowed grounds should protect Kathy.
Not
Anyways,
always.
what do you mean? Not always. What do you mean?
Curses sometimes advance beyond the power of the gods, or the people worshipping them.
Iris.
Do you need something?
I'm gonna return to the king, but as this is for the rest of the group, could you go to the church and make sure Kathy doesn't, I don't know, die? That would be great. Please do not let Kathy die. I will give you anything. Please, please, please. Please don't let
Sure.
her die. Thank you.
She begins to follow the man that left. In the background, she simply states, "What's a Kathy?"
What's a Taffy? Make sure Taffy doesn't die.
Ray will come back normally, just grunting, just like, "Oh my
I'm just laying down, sleeping on this bench.
God, Kathy, oh my God.
She
Hey,
never
he's
met.
back."
As you all return back, you then wait a little bit more, and the actual mage assistant comes in. Somewhat stomper man, roughly young, but clearly not that young. He does have elven features. He does have bright brimming blonde hair, mixed in with blue highlights. He does have what appears to be a pet cat with wings on his shoulder.
Ooh.
Looking towards King Leno, simply states, oh, hey, boss. These the guys that I'm supposed to be helping out?" The cat immediately jumps towards your face and begins to claw at it.
Wait, who's?
Whose
Ray-
face?
Ray.
I am wearing a helmet and will just start petting the cat.
Yeah, it's not like trying to attack you, it just can't hit purchase.
"Oh,
All
So
I
right.
will
it looks
try
like
to-
it's attacking you.
Yes, bro.
Metal armor, and he doesn't take it off. Yeah, but luckily enough, you don't die. But King Leno then states, "Thank you for arriving, Quinn. It's no problem. I mean, you are the king, and you do pay well. So, the name's Quinn. Gang. I'm gonna assume you're a gang. He usually hires people out. Sometimes they're gangs, sometimes they're posse, sometimes there's a team. Sometimes they're black market
Cool
dealers
gang.
that need to know how to do things. I mean, no offense, King, but sometimes you do hire very bad people. They tend to get the job done. I get it, but you know. Any of you know how to use magic, or am I being assigned as a helper to no one?"
Ralgruk casts Mage Hand and slaps Ray across the face. Thereby demonstrating his use of magic.
Ray will 100% be focused on the cat being okay and not its own face."
Alright, thankfully enough, it's just a mage hand and it can't actually do damage. If anything, it just bonks the metal, and that's all that happens. Quinn then goes, neat trick, but, I mean, no offense, man, but, an elf can do that at age 30. That's child's play. A cantrip's a cantrip, but, can you do anything else?
I have divine smile.
Never heard of that spell, but
Did
that'd
you
be
just say
interesting.
divine smile?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Never heard of that. It might be a charming spell. That's interesting. Yeah,
Aye.
could work. All right.
Evocation. Ralgruk turns to Quinn and says, "Aye. Evocation is my specialty, but I'm not about to cast one of my spells."
Fair enough. Enchantment's my game. So, if all of you are ready, I can teleport it. Oh, wait, Leno, you wanted, the lieutenant to teleport us because in case we wanted to be teleported back, right? That was the purpose and reason to send her with you. All right.
And we are
Fair enough.
wait. We're missing the little girl.
Oh, that's right.
Iris is missing. She
Yeah,
went
well,
to the church.
I saw her go with Ray.
Yeah,
Stares at Ray.
everyone's staring at Ray.
Ray, you lost Iris again?
Ray, where's
Ray is not
Iris?
paying attention at all and is petting a cat.
As basically Ray gets mean mugged, Iris in the background says, so I protected Iris, but the kid can no longer have his toy. I just gave Ray, not Ray. I just gave Kathy like 50 gold. She can just buy a replacement and say it's the original.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. I just broke the doll before it could do anything.
Okay, that's all that matters to me.
I mean, I got there before they actually entered the church. She didn't see a thing. So I just gave the guy 50 gold and told him to buy the closest thing that looked like it.
Well, I'll leave it up to Kathy.
I think that's, she knows what she's doing.
You know kids are dumb, right? You can just buy them another toy and say it's the same thing and they won't notice.
Hmm.
Will not agree with that, and then just. I think Ray wouldn't agree with that in a moral sense, not wouldn't agree that a kid won't.
Yeah, I completely understand. You can probably tell that she's overcompensating because people keep calling her a child. So she's taking an aggressive stance against children. Probably. But eventually the lieutenant does come and arrive towards your location. I don't know why I keep saying the same synonym for the same action. It makes no sense.
Hey, you're doing a great job, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, the lieutenant comes in. All right then. Leno, it's great to see you. Oh, you're all relatively early. That's great. Yes, it seems they seem to be ready and willing to go on an adventure. All right. It seems that I'm all charged up for today. I will have one spell to get to the location now that I've been there, and one spell to get back at the waypoint. If you're all ready, we can head out.
I'm ready. I've been ready for a while. It's been Ray who's had all these important
Adventures.
side adventures.
Ray is.
Side quest.
I'm sorry.
There's Ray. Hope that kid enjoys his doll. That's what I overheard.
His replacement doll.
Oh yeah, Iris immediately just blew it up, basically. That doll's gone.
Becky likes Iris a little more.
Ray's good to go.
So, she begins to cast a spell, and Lionel then reminds you. Remember, try to close the door as best as possible. I do not know if you can fully close it, as it did require a team of 10 to seal it. That being said, the most you can do, I hope, is at least for you to make it simply ajar rather than open. That being said, any other information that you can provide to us will be of the most benefit. As right now, we're currently working with a minimal amount of information. Not something we can't work with, but something we want to make sure is clear. We do believe, as you have stated, and as the other informants have stated, that the Kingdom of Frost is working against us, or a group in the Kingdom of Frost. I'd want you to discover who exactly that is. If this goes on and it continues to move about, in the degree I fear it does, not only Frost's gate, but the other gates might be in peril. I would like you to make sure this does not happen. Do take care, and do take kind. And with that, the spell ends, and you are all teleported back to the place you once stood. But different.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
Wrong there.
Yeah.
As you get teleported back in the exact same spot where you were before, a few things have changed. You remember there were sentries here, guards that were kept here to make sure that everything was safe, everything was secure. All of them now stand on the ground dead. Opal looks immediately mad. She wears armor as well, but she removes her helmet from time to time. But even with her
I see her
helmet
face.
on, she is very pissed off. She looks towards the person, however, stands her ground, arm at the hilt and ready. She unfortunately can't make a move because she's not sure who this person is working for. But she is ready to defend anyone and making sure that you take action if you decide to do so. So that guard's not there. I just accidentally teleported with him.
I kind of like the idea of a guard randomly accidentally be teleported with us.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Keep that canon.
All right.
Ray will put the cat down safely behind the tree.
The cat runs onto Quinn.
Yeah.
No, it's not safe. Stop.
As you more or less joke around, the individual at hand, it doesn't move this time. In fact, it kind of clamps onto Quinn's shoulder. The individual at hand then states, oh my! It seems we have more guests. Now, I did wait here 24 hours just in case someone was to arrive again. I did manage to get some information pulled out of them, but it does not seem they knew who exactly was coming by. Oh, no, stay right there, sir. I am going to make sure things are as right as rain.
Ray is very obviously not stealthing, trying to get by to see if he can spare the dying any of the guards.
You can clearly tell there's a lot of blood. Like, even if you could at this... even if you were here when they died, this person did a lot of damage very quickly that it was almost instantaneous.
They're like dead.
And then 24 hours have passed.
They're really dead.
Really dead.
Hello. My name is Micah.
Oh, welcome, Micah. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name... I should probably use a different sort of name. My name that you're going to refer with me, or you can make up your own. I really don't care. Let's go with... No, that sounds dumb. I kind of look like a cat in this outfit. Let's go with cat.
You are no cat.
Well, Cat, I was wondering, we have lost a milking cow, and we are out looking for a milking cow. Have you seen a random cow around?
Oh, you lost a cow. I
Yes.
did manage to get some information about descriptors about people that were here before, and you did look like the people they were describing. Micah, go ahead and roll deception, because you are lying. Do you remember where it is?
Yeah, gives me a second to get to it, but I'll get to it, I promise.
No
Well,
problem.
While Micah's doing that, Ray rolls his investigation just to see if, is there blood all over Cat's hands and stuff?
There's like no blood, no point of reference that you see stains on their body.
Cat, did you do this?
And points to the multiple bodies.
Looks towards you. 1 second here. Micah, was it? It does seem that you might be looking for a cow, which would explain why you have more people in your group than I had anticipated. I don't know why they brought someone looking for a cow, but who knows? Maybe they were being very full of themselves, thinking they could take the enemy team down.
Oh, no. I have a doppelganger who was here before me.
Oh, no, I completely believe you. If you lost a cow, you're more than free to go. It's just everyone else isn't free to
Okay.
go. Oh, and to answer your question, sir, I'm afraid I don't know what you are. You seem like a Genasi in a suit of armor. It doesn't seem to fit you, though, since you keep clanking and clonking. In the forest? To answer your question, yes. Almost immediately to some of them, and excruciatingly long to others.
Can I tell that Cat's happy about it?
They seem the exact same jovial amount of energy that they have felt. It doesn't like go up when he's talking about death,
Yeah.
but it also
I'm
doesn't go
just-
down.
I'm just trying to, like, if Ray could determine if, like, Cat is on the spectrum of chaotic evil,
Right.
which is, like, the one thing Ray cannot stand.
Oh
Mhm.
no.
Now, unfortunately, though, they forced my hand. They draw their weapons first, and I always make sure that they draw their weapons first. I don't like fighting. I don't like killing, but I am very good at it.
Okay, Ray will lean off a little bit, because that sounds like lawful evil, which Ray at least understands. Where chaotic evil, Ray does not understand and just will not stand for it.
Now then, other than you, Sir Micah, you are free to go. Look for your cow as much as you want, but the others seem to have some descriptors, except for one of you. No, two of you. Mr. Dwarf, the guy behind you, Mr. Dwarf, you're more than free to go. I don't have any descriptors on you two. If you want to leave, you're more than welcome to. The rest of you, though, I do need information. I do need it. As long as you're not aggressive and as long as you give me the information, you're more than welcome to leave. Go tell your boss about what's currently happening. Maybe try to save these people's lives if you can. I don't, looks behind them, think you can. But you're more than welcome to try. Does that sound efficient enough for you?
Ralgruk is clearly ready to defend himself, but asks Cat, before I leave, what's your relationship to this gate that I'm here to repair? Since you're the one that killed these guards, can I assume that you didn't want the gate to be closed?
Oh, no. I've been here to assist the team that was killed off by your team, according to the information that they gave me. Points towards the dead bodies. And I'm just waiting here to assess the situation and ask you a few questions. To answer your question, though, I am only able to stabilize magic. I am not able to break it open, per se. The other team that was here was able to do that. I could only stabilize it, so they could take a union break, and then they would continue the process once the break was over.
And do you mean to harm us?
Oh no, of course not. So long as I get my answers, there will be not a speck of dust and or hair upon you that should not fall unnaturally.
Believe it.
Alright. So, Ralgruk rubs his beard. So you wouldn't mind if I inspected the gate, would you?
Oh, not at all, so long as you answer my questions.
Well, I believe I wasn't required to answer questions, so I'm just gonna go over here and take a look-see.
Oh, of course, you're more than welcome to.
Cat, was it? Look, I also don't like to fight, and I just want to get paid real quick, so do you have any questions for me?
I do. However, that will have to wait until next session.
Next
Please begin
time
the
on
session
Dragon Ball
on
Z.
today.
If only we'd gotten here 2 hours ago.